like before brunch. Damn, bro.
Yeah, man. 10 o'clock in the morning, straight to the net.
Only
Alright,
stabbing around here actually happened over a PlayStation. A PS4 on Black Friday. Somebody got shanked.
No,
Sorry,
this
go
was
ahead, Krow.
something. Apparently, the whole argument started something about bumping into him, and that's what you call. It's a straight up Boondocks moment right there.
Oh, yeah. That is. Yeah, that's something else.
You bumped into me? Nah,
Oh,
man.
it's over for him, bro. All right, we're live, boys.
yeah,
We're up. We're up.
Uh,
We're up. We're up. We're up. We're up.
yeah. So by the way, we live right now. So yeah, let's start with the mic check.
Check.
Hello,
I'm
hello.
here.
Yo.
Yes, sir.
Mic check.
Yo, what's
Hello.
up?
1 2
Mic
1 2.
check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check. Check in. 1 2 3.
All right, let's go ahead and start here. And okay, where's my? Okay. All right, yo, what's good, guys? Welcome to episode 12 of Nest Talk, and this is the show where we talk about some of the big gaming headlines, what's trending in the gaming media, and we also do go off topic every now and then. So I'm here once again with my man Agent Deli.
Hello, hello. Welcome back to the stream. Or welcome back to the podcast. Also, thank you for having me back. My name is Agent Deli. I'm an ex Ubisoft developer, and now I just work for the U.S. government.
All right, that's what's up, and of course I'm here once again with my guy Joker Gamer V3.
Yo, what's up, people? Thank you again for having me back, Krow. And yeah, talking about some interesting topics, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm also here with my good friend WinduTheMace.
What's up? Appreciate you having me back. What's nice to see everybody.
Yeah, and I see you got your racing wheel, so I know you've been enjoying
Bro.
Forza Horizon 4. So.
He's gonna be controlling
So-
the whole entire chat with his
Bro.
racing wheel.
He's on it.
Hey man, I'll be honest. It wasn't until our last podcast that I was like, you know what? Let me download Forza because I've actually never played a Forza. I've always been a Gran Turismo guy.
Yeah, I'm a
And because of y'all,
shit out your ass.
bro, I've been hooked on this, bro. Like I'm talking about, let's
Coming
go.
with that smoke.
Bro,
I don't want
I'm-
none of this Jesse
Listen,
bullshit. You just
listen,
gonna keep driving and not come back for the next
Nah,
race,
listen.
bro.
Nah.
Listen,
See,
hey,
Forza's
listen.
like Forza's arcadey, so you know what I mean.
He think I'm
It
playing,
is.
bro. I'm going out to that shit. No experience, first race. I'm smoking the shit out this.
Let's
motherfucker.
go.
As long
Hey,
hey,
as long
All
as
this
Bam
smack
doesn't come in
talk, you
first.
better hold it.
Hey man,
As long
I
as,
heard that
Bam
from
doesn't
Bam
come in
Bam.
first, I don't care.
Yeah, I heard that from Bam Bam and from Joker. All I'm saying,
Hey,
it's a
you
lot
spend out
easier to
more
talk on
time
Twitter,
than
bro.
anyone else.
Hey, look.
Hey
only
man,
thing is,
you and your little right trigger. Be
Hey,
quiet.
I'm not talking on Twitter though. I'm talking on an actual podcast telling you I'm going to.
He
smoke the
on
shit
air,
out.
bro. Strictly
Yeah,
ain't no
but
Twitter.
he-
Hey,
he-
Strictly
he-
ain't got Twitter fingers, man.
Yeah, I know.
No, bro,
I
you
don't.
talking on air, but then you're like, in about a month or two, I'm gonna hit you up. Yeah.
Nah,
No.
Hey, a dub's a
I
dub,
got you,
bro.
but not right now. Not right now. Not right now.
Dub's
Maybe
a dub,
later.
bro.
Maybe
Why,
later.
hey, you gonna be hurt when Strictly. You know what? Let's rewind this. When Strictly brings
On that
home that
detail.
dub, I'm just gonna play this clip.
Fam, I'm
Bet.
changing my picture on Discord to a straight W. That's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be.
Oh,
a
it's
W.
over
it's
for
like
y'all.
Where
that.
you at? Where you at? Let's go.
Hey, I'm gonna change my
All right,
profile picture
yo,
to
I don't
look
want to get too dragged into this. You know, Strictly is on a tight schedule, so yeah, we got the homie Strictly coming through again, and I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, man. You know it's all love, bro. Gotta support my guys. You already know why I'm here. We altering the topics a little bit because y'all know I ain't about to talk about no Tales of Arise. We talk about Deathloop in this event. You already know the vibes. I'm coming with smoke.
Oh man.
Already know.
All right, listen, I don't approve of any Tales of Arise slander. That's one of my game of the years. From what I played so far, yo,
I think you hit a soft
that's
spot.
definitely
I
a
think
game
you
of
hit
the
a
year
soft spot.
candidate, bro. Like,
Hey, you
Hey,
haven't,
you
you
hit a
haven't
soft
played Ratchet
spot.
and Clank, bro.
Yeah.
That's game of the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, we played Ratchet and Clank.
Okay, so once again, welcome to episode 12 of Nest Talk, and the title of this episode is "The Marvelous PlayStation." As the last 10 minutes of the PlayStation showcase was a straight banger. As we did see a lot of good reveals of Marvel's Wolverine, as well as a Spider-Man 2. So it's definitely two good bangers from Insomniac, and you can tell that the relationship between Sony and Marvel is really strong right now, and it's really good to see the good relationship there. And so let's go into our first segment, which is recent and upcoming games. And so I'm gonna start with Lost in Random. So Lost in Random, this did come out on September the 10th, and this was actually shown in the Xbox event that happened recently. And honestly, this is like a really interesting game. It's like a D&D meets a card game, kind of like meets a dungeon crawler as well. And looks like it does have an interesting story as well, as you do meet some interesting characters. And it does have a semi real-time combat. And so have you guys checked out this game?
Absolutely not. I never even
I
heard of
Yeah,
it.
I'm. This is the first
To
time
be
I'm
honest with
hearing of it.
you,
I never
this
heard of it, bro.
never paid attention to it. Honestly.
Can I look? This never mind, because this ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't gonna lie, so I ain't gonna say nothing. Never mind.
Just say it, bro. You
Man,
got me
look,
curious now.
you know, I was thinking the other day, right? I was like, damn, Deli used to work for Ubisoft. So
Mm-hmm.
I was playing the Riders Republic demo, like, about
Yeah.
a month ago. And look, Deli man, I don't know if you still talk to people at Ubisoft,
I
but
do.
you need to call you need to call them. You need to call these cats, bro. They need to give love to black people in character customization, bro.
Oh
It's not
man.
it. Like they got us motherfucking looking like goddamn fam. They got us looking like fucking Reese cups with tar on it, bro. Like it don't even look right.
What
The
the
fuck?
fuck?
Like, yo, they need to show some love to black people, fam. I need you to call somebody and be like,
Hey,
hey,
I'll
bro.
make some phone calls, Dad.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen,
Hey man,
let's
I'm
not,
gonna be
let's not,
real
let's
with you.
not get
Horizon be
off
like that
topic.
too. All right, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so
There you go.
does anyone remember seeing this game from the Xbox showcase? It's an interesting game. The fact that the combat is kind of like a Final Fantasy VII remake. You know how it has like a mix of the real time aspect as well as you can pause. You can have like a slow motion effect, and you can activate cards during the combat. And so it's an interesting take on the combat. And actually how it works is that you start each level with a slingshot. So you get a slingshot to shoot down enemies. Then you gradually unlock cards. And so basically you can have like a deck of these cards, up to 15 cards per one. And so for each battle, at random, 5 cards are pulled from your deck. And these cards can range from like any type of buffs. You can get special weapons, or you can get potions as well. You can use in the combat.
Okay. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm gonna pick up this game. Just by looking at the trailer and everything like that, and also like the whole card system, and dungeon crawler as well. It sounds way too much out of my league, to be honest. So I wouldn't personally indulge myself playing this game, and just give my opinion on that. So for me, I'll just skip it, I guess, or just
Yeah,
skip
I
this
think there's
game.
just too many genres being mashed together for my take or
Yeah,
for my liking, so
it's
I
too
probably will pass on
it's
this one.
it's too much going on, and especially if you just want to just chill out and play a game and everything like that, and all of a sudden I have to start playing Yu-Gi-Oh in the middle of a fucking dungeon crawler. I'm sorry, you just lost me there. You know what I mean? So I'm good. I'm gonna just skip this game for my liking anyway.
All right, okay. This is definitely on my radar. I know that September has a really huge lineup of games right now, and it's like the indies are just popping off right now. Like there's a lot of really good games coming up. And so actually, let me move on to the next one, which is Origami 2. And if you guys have played the original Origami, this is a really dope stealth game. And it's kind of like Assassin's Creed, kind of like meets Mark of the Ninja.
I
Mark of
mean,
the
like I wouldn't say particularly it's like Assassin's Creed, but it's a very unique take on a stealth genre. Especially you get to be a ninja, right? And your powers come from the whole shadow aspect of things. So the more you're in the shadow, the better your stealth game is. Um, However, if you do come on the light, you'll get clocked very easy and stuff like that. But it's a very interesting, unique stealth game. I would say it's like the modern day uh, Prince of Persia platform. We got to play the
Yeah, I was gonna
original
say Prince of
Prince of
Persia's.
yeah. So it's a modern day Prince of Persia platform meets stealth. So which is dope. And also it's got a very unique combat system too in this, where it's got like a stealth takedowns and stuff. So it's a definitely worth the game. I played the first game and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
So
I
Yeah.
actually remember seeing the first game on like Kickstarter, so I was very happy when the first game came out, and I was happy that it got enough love to have a sequel. So I probably will end up picking it up.
yeah. It's something that I would play in my own time where I don't have to bother about anything else, just sit there and play. But yeah, it's a very nice game, bro. Also visually, the whole art style appeals to me, so
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah, it's
one.
very like oh no, I wasn't gonna say Okami, but it's very like I don't even know.
Have you ever guys played Absolver, which is like the
Yeah, I played
or
Absolver. Yep.
yeah, so it's kind of like that similar art style, I would say.
I don't know shit about these games, man. Let's talk about Deathloop, bro. No, I'm playing. I'm messing with you.
All right, chill. Hold
Hey,
on.
I'm
I'm
the same boat as you. I'm just quiet in the background, bro.
I don't know none of them shits.
Hey, we love the
So
honesty,
yeah,
bro.
Origami 2 is coming up soon. You can get that on Game Pass, and it does have some co-op, which is pretty interesting. So you get to do co-op assassination missions, which sounds really interesting. And you can
That's why I don't know what it is. It's good
stay
game,
tuned
though.
for that on September the 17th.
Better-
So yeah, moving on here, we're gonna be moving on to Kena Bridge of Spirits, and
Yeah, buddy.
it's great
Gonna be
to
hot.
see some really good black representation when it comes to the game development scene, and so Ember Labs, they've been making, they've been known for making like CGI movies and things like that. And so this is the first foray into the gaming world, and it definitely looks pretty promising from the trailers, and looking into the combat and things like that. Looks really great. So
Man.
so what
No,
do you
go ahead,
guys
my
think
bad.
about Kina?
First of all,
I like the art style.
Yeah,
I like
literally
the art
one of
style,
my
yeah.
most anticipated games for 2021, man. I can't wait next week. It's funny, we did give away during the event, we did a Twitter Spaces, me, Unc, aka Optimus Code, and my boy Bruce. We did a giveaway for Kana. We did two of them. And Kana Ember Labs actually responded to my email and they tweeted it out and everything. They gave me a free Kana kit. And
Damn.
they
You got
gave
a
out
hook
one, so it was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Ember Labs, man. Cannot wait to play that game. Just really want to support these developers, man. Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, like the whole thing, I love the fact that even though it's such a developed game, as I can see just by the clips and everything like that, the simple fact is the starting price for this game pre-order is only $33, 33 pound for me. So I don't know about you guys, but £33 for me seems like a generous amount for me to play a next gen game on a new console kind of a thing. So yeah, I'll be picking this up on PC. I don't know if it's coming out on PC. Is it coming out on PC?
It's coming out. I don't know when, but it is coming out
Yeah.
on PC.
I think it's a timed exclusive.
I'm trying to clap
Okay,
that
okay.
shit so I
So-
can get it on PS.
So
No,
actually
I'm
on
trying to
PC,
I'm
so
still
this
trying
is
to get a PS5.
so actually Joker, this is actually on the Epic Game Store as well. So it's not a
Alright,
Steam.
okay.
It's not like a Steam exclusive. So it's gonna be a PS5 and a Epic Game Store exclusive.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay. That's
Gotcha.
good.
Didn't know that.
That's good. I did not know that. But yeah, if it's gonna be on Epic's Game Store, even though I don't want to spend money on Epic's Game Store, I'll be picking that up just to play the game. But yeah, I'm still trying to get hold of a PS5. I would love to own it on a PS5, but still can't get hold of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kane
so-
looks
Somebody
like-
hook him up.
Yeah, Kenna looks. I'm most excited for the environments in the game. I think the lighting looks absolutely like spectacular in the game, at least of all the footage that's been showed off. So I'm most excited for that. Let's see what they do with the lighting and the environments. The gameplay and the combat. I can only hope it's as good as Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't expect it to be super deep. I'm with Ember Labs' first game. I'm just reserve judgment on combat. I'm sure that there's gonna be like melee combat and some magic combat and some range combat, some pretty basic stuff. Nothing too crazy, but I think that probably what's going to be the most fun is just exploring the world. If it is like a wide linear or open world, or just experiencing the story. So
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely ready for it, man. I love the aesthetic of the game. Again, I like supporting these indie developers and stuff like that. So definitely ready. This is one, like I said, one of my most anticipated titles. Definitely gonna be
I gotta
fighting
say-
that.
I gotta say the graphics look clean on this game though. The whole
It does look
really
character, it looks, bro.
it looks very polished.
Yeah,
it,
it
it's
is very
it, it
Yeah.
looks it looks like a high quality. It kind of looks like that Overwatch effect where it's like even though it's a small indie studio or even though it's a small team, it's still got very high levels of polish and quality behind every asset. Even if it's stylized, and I think that that's something that speaks loads to the experience of the guys at Ember Labs. So if you get sorry, go ahead.
No, my bad. I was gonna say something just a tad bit off topic. Actually, it is. I'm not gonna lie, but it's
Oh,
cool.
I
Go
was
ahead.
just gonna say, if you get a chance to email those guys back, please give them or I might even tweet at them, but give them my love, because
Yeah.
I'm always down for sharing love to indie devs.
No doubt. Hey, Windu. So I told you I was playing Borderlands 3 with my boy Nate. He's in the chat. Just a tidbit on that. I added you. Why the fuck is your name so long on YouTube, bro? It looked like a damn. It looks like.
Oh man!
It looks like a folder path, bro.
Yeah.
C drive, my documents, blah blah blah.
Because
like-
because he's sold out. He's doing partner gaming for like 3 different games. Dude's a
Okay,
beast.
Hey man. I mean, long story
he's
short,
he's a para-zombie
Oh!
community leader.
it's just a little trick. Every time somebody looks up the game name, they can't help but look up my channel name as well.
I added him. I'm like, yo, what the?
My bad.
My bad. Go ahead. Back to the topic, man. My bad. Man, my bad.
Oh, that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I definitely agree with you, Deli and Strictly. The aesthetic is definitely looking pretty good, and it does have a kind of like a Zelda dungeon crawler type vibe. So yeah, I'm very excited to play it. And so let's move on to Deathloop. And so before the release of Deathloop, a lot of people were talking smack about the game, saying that it doesn't look all that. And then as soon as the review embargo lifted, many critics gave it a positive review score for Deathloop. But if you look at the user reviews, or like even on Steam, for example, it's a completely different story. As it's a very if you look at Steam right now, there are mixed reviews, and I guess many of the issues stem from the fact that the game has really poor performance, even on the newest 30 series RTX cards.
Text matters, bro. You said positive reviews. Nah, they gave that bitch a 10. No,
Yeah,
it ain't
Nah.
just positive. They gave
I'll
it a
tell you.
10. No.
I tell you
No,
what.
no.
when I
I'm
hear-
talking about the user reviews, not the critic reviews, because the user reviews
no.
are
I do not
very,
trust
very,
anything from critic reviews. That's just
Bro, my bad. I'm sorry.
yeah. Sorry, go on.
Just tell me to shut the fuck up, bro. I'll shut the fuck up. I promise. Like, no, like, yo,
Yeah.
listen, man. Go ahead and finish, man. I got so much to say about Deathloop. Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
make sure-
So, if you look at many of the user reviews, they are really, disappointed in the fact that, the performance, this is running on the Void engine, which they've used, Arcanus uses on Dishonored 2. And like the thing is like, this game has been heavily advertised for the PS5 and they're still using that old ass engine. Like it doesn't really, add up. And I'm not sure why they're still using this engine. The fact that if you want Dishonored 2 right now, like you can tell that game is pretty dated, by these standards. So I'm not sure why they're using the old engine. And yeah, so there is a huge disparity in the reviews if you compare the critic reviews and the user reviews. And the people who are getting past the performance issues on PC, they're even saying like this is a mid game at best, like a 7 or 8 game at best. It doesn't deserve the 10 out of 10 scores. And so strictly, so I know you played this game a bit, and so what were your impressions of Deathloop?
Oh man.
He's got a long list.
Like, I want to be funny and just be like, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
hey,
blah.
get up on your soapbox, man.
Go,
This-
go, go,
yeah,
go.
yeah. You know
go.
what? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. This shit is fucking. I'm not gonna say it's terrible because it's not terrible, but it doesn't feel next gen at all. Like my biggest issues with it, number one, the movement, man. It feels like I'm playing with some heavy ass medieval armor type shit on. Like, and I'm in performance mode. It's 60 frames per second, and it does not feel like 60 frames per second. I mean, there's a motion blur attached to it when you sprint, and you can't turn it off on console. I heard you can on PC, but you can't on console, so you can't turn it off. And a lot of it really is game design, man. Like the enemies, when you kill them, they disappear. So if you want the gun from the enemy, you have to remember where you killed them at because they're going to fucking disappear. You know what I'm saying? And the flow of the game isn't right. Like you will finish objectives and not even know you finished them shits. The only way you know you finished sometimes is it'll have like a little icon, like the follow you icon, like in most games, and then it says the end, like you have to go back to where you came in from in the actual loop, and it just there's no flow to it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's loading screens on random times, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this shit? And I tried to give like. I made a tweet about it, 2 to 3 hours in, and I let people know, like, look, I only played 2 to 3 hours, so you may want to take it with a grain of salt, because I can play a game for like an hour and a half, and let you like it. I'll know if I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? But people were like, well, this is the tutorial phase and shit like that. I'm like, all right, cool. So I played about, like I said, 4 hours so far, and I'm just now basically getting through the tutorial phase of it, man. And that's trash. That's trash gameplay design. You shouldn't be in a tutorial phase of a game for like 3-4 hours, man. You know what I'm saying? And again, there's just no flow to it. The movement when literally the gun jams, and like I know Deli mentioned that you don't really get it jamming too much on the blue and purple weapons and shit like that. But if your ass don't got no blue and purple weapon, that's just jamming every gunfight. Like I promise, that's just jamming every
is.
single gunfight, and it's so annoying, bro. Like I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like I just shot 3 bullets, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it takes a long time to unjam it, and you still gotta reload it and shit. It's just Deathloop got a lot of gameplay design issues, man. It's not glitches or nothing. It's just true gameplay design issues, and I feel like it was poorly designed, to be completely honest about it.
Okay, yeah. For some reason, like back to the PS5 advertising, like they really heavily advertise it for like a next gen experience. The fact that, like they were making a huge deal of the adaptive triggers. The fact that the PS5 it uses the adaptive triggers and the other haptics. So do you feel a sense of that strictly, or like how's your?
The haptic feedback was really good. That's one thing I do like about the game. The DualSense features and the dialogue between Juliana and whatever to do now.
Bolt, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Like they have really good dialogue, good conversation. I really like that because that should be funny as hell. But outside of that, that's really all I like. And I gotta say this thing real quick. Bam Bam, you are fucking high. He just said that there, no game felt next gen so far. You are high. I don't know what you're on. No. Returnal and Ratchet and
You're
Clank both
high.
feel next gen.
Yes,
Ratchet and Clank
Ratchet
and
and Clank does feel next gen.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank
Yeah,
and
Ratchet and
Returnal
Clank is there.
both feel next gen to me. That's my
As-
guy though. Shout out to my guy.
As for my review of Deathloop, I give it like I give it about like an 8.5. Right now I'm about 10 hours into the game. I get about an 8.5 out of 10. I took a couple points off because you have to be connected to the internet in order to play offline, which I'm a little upset by. I'm literally sitting here waiting for it to connect to, because I had an internet outage like literally 2 hours ago, and I'm sitting here trying to play this game just for a little bit to pass some time, and it just won't connect to. I have my PlayStation 5 wired into my thing, and it just won't connect to the Bethesda game servers. So I had to hotspot my phone to my PlayStation 5 in order to connect to the game servers so that I can log in and then disconnect, and it'll give me the option to play offline, which I thought was like not really that great. But as for game design and game wise, I mean, I think this game is very well designed, actually. Pretty much all your opinion, opposite of you, strictly. I think this is a masterclass in game design, honestly. I think that everything
I just got here, but I can tell you right now, I've been watching Gaines slander Deathloop on Twitter all day long. This man did 20 Twitter spaces.
Hey,
Deathloop is trash.
Uh-oh.
Every single one of them. Deathloop is trash. The sequel. Deathloop is
Hey.
trash. The
Oh,
trilogy. Deathloop is
man.
trash. Number 5. The Return of Deathloop is trash. All of that, like all
God.
tweets
hey,
showing clips. Look at this bug. Look at the AI. The AI can walk right past me. The AI stepped on my foot. Didn't even realize I was there. I'm gonna
my
cap him on the
daughter
back
can
of the
play
head.
this shit with that AI, bro. That shit is terrible, bro.
It's
Like,
a bug, Gaines. You know it's a bug.
First of all, Deli said that he loves the gameplay design. Where do you live, bro? We gotta fight. We gotta fight.
All right, we
We gotta
scrap
fight,
it. Pull
bro.
up. Hey,
We gotta get
hey,
this
pull
film.
up, bro. I don't confide
gotta
in
get
no
this film.
pump.
And look, man, SloMo, he already know, bro. I'm gonna come with my opinions. Like,
No, okay. So gameplay design wise, I think that it's very elegantly designed because it lets you know. Obviously, the tutorial is a little long. Like the first mission, entitled "The Longest Day," lasts about like 4 to 5 hours, maybe possibly 6. I completed it in about a sitting, which was about 3.5 hours. I think Deathloop is elegantly designed because once you get past that tutorial, you do the first couple missions and get used to the free flowing design, because you only really have 4 sections of the game, like 4 sections of the map, which to be fair with you, it doesn't feel next gen because it's still got old school game design. And by old school game design, I mean like it's still got levels. The game loads a lot, and that's just something that we didn't see in Ratchet and Clank and God of War. Like even though they had last gen design, that they were able to make it next gen. And I'm sure with Ragnarok, there will be like no there will be no loading screens. But in this game, it's like every single time you load into a level, there's like the game physically stops and gives you a loading screen. And then there's like a there's like a loadout screen that gives you like a loading screen as well too. Like you can definitely tell the game is old school game design. And that's partially because the reason is the Void engine that they're using from 2016 is obviously a previous generation engine. And then for the original Dishonored, they use Unreal Engine 3. So the Void engine, for your comments earlier, the Void engine actually isn't that old. It's only 5 years old, Krow, and I think I don't think it's outdated at all. I think it's fantastic.
I mean, it's like a modified version of IdTech, right? Like it's like IdTech 5 or 6 or something like that.
I think IdTech right now is on 6, so this would be like IdTech 4 or whatever.
4.
it's terrible.
Okay, anyways, back to the game design. I think that all the icons are easy to read. I think that the text is easy to read. I think that the flow of the game is easy to read. I think that understanding how to tackle the puzzles, the game doesn't really hold your hand. It doesn't tell you, like, once you get past the tutorial, it doesn't really it really doesn't hold your hand. You know, like right now I have been trying to hunt these two people down, and I finally have unlocked these two people. I've gathered enough information to get these two people, and then I realized that I've only unlocked 4 people out of the 8 that I have to assassinate to, for the entirety of the game. And then on top of that, like there's an entire daytime cycle as well too. So like, morning, noon, afternoon, evening. I still haven't even dived into that yet. I haven't dived into figuring out who's going to end up meeting with who, because there's obviously sections of the game where several high value targets meet together that you can eliminate in one run. So because if you do it section by section, it's impossible to complete the entirety of the game killing one target at a time and moving on to the next section, because once you load into the next level, it speeds past towards the day. So there's this huge puzzle element to the game, and I think that it takes the game design of like Dark Souls, where you have to kind of figure out things out on your own. And I think that that's elegant game design, because the game, one, doesn't hold your hand, but two, also gives you enough information and gives you enough of the puzzle pieces to figure out where you need to be next without, I didn't feel like I was sitting here staring at my screen half the time. I think that there are several puzzle games that, like, I'm literally sitting here like, I don't know where to go next. I don't know what to do. I'm going to consult a walkthrough. But this game feels like I'm figuring things out by myself organically, whether it be tackling things at different times of days or whatever. As for the gun jamming thing, I found higher level weapons like pretty quickly into the game. Once I actually found out how to like gather enough materials to infuse my weapons to keep them loop to loop, I think that I was able to pick up weapons of higher quality and keep them more consistently, which obviously eradicates the jamming thing. So if you if you inspect the weapon, it will say like jamming, it'll say never. So most of my weapons have like a never thing. So like to me that it introduces the idea of like being able to explore, because there's this puzzle in the game where you have this legendary weapon. It's 2 pistols and you put them together and it turns into like a rifle. And it took me, I don't know how I ran into it, but like it took me like an hour to figure out
2
that puzzle.
pistols turn into a rifle?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
listen,
snap
bro.
them together.
I've been waiting too long to say this, bro.
Go ahead.
I've been waiting too long. Like the tutorial is, bro. It's like I'm sitting in the movie. It's like a movie being 3 hours, and the first 2.5 hours is trash, and then the last 30 minutes are good. And then they're like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It just, you had to wait until the end till it get good.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I played the Persona 5 tutorial, which is about 20 hours.
Oh
so
my God,
I'm not hurt.
Yeah,
I'm
see,
not hurt at all.
That's
3 hour
kinda
tutorial.
true.
I'm like, yo,
a
let
lot
me
of
get
people,
it.
when we come to Persona 5, a lot of people quit it before you really like get to where it really starts to get good. Like people play Persona 5 and they're like, man, I go to school, then I go back home, then I go to sleep. What is this? Why is this good? And then they don't even get to the part where the teacher is abusing the students and stuff, and you gotta go into his mind and change them. And it's like,
and
oh, like
that's when shit hits the fan at that point.
But
right.
To me, I think that once you're past the tutorial, strictly, if you once you pass the tutorial, the game opens up and it gives you the ability to play how you want to play. Right? I like stealth games, so to me, I'm very patient.
Hold on, Deli, because you're from. Look, I haven't played it yet because I was going to buy it and play it, and then I started to see that the PC version had all these stuttering issues, and then I saw that the PlayStation 5 version, the only good the good mode to play is performance mode, and I said, you know what? Let me wait for a patch, and then I'll get it. So I haven't played it yet, but
I haven't encountered any bugs on the PlayStation 5.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Sorry,
what I'm asking about, you said it's like you can play it however you want to play it, but like I was listening to the main dude. I can't tell if he's black or not, or he's Indian. I can't tell, but like the main director, he's black. Okay, person of color, awesome. I love it. Right. Yeah. So I was listening to him talk some months ago because I've been kind of following the game for a while, and he was talking about how like there are certain things that you can do to kind of force some of your targets to be together. And then once they're together, then you can take them out, and that can help you kind of get through beating the game, completing the loop without actually, having that issue you said where you take one target down, then time passes, and then you don't have enough time to take each target down individually.
Yes.
But if that's how it is, then it almost seems kind of scripted in a way. If you look at say 12 minutes, for example, I played 12 minutes. I'm doing all kinds of wild stuff.
Really tried to 12 minutes.
I'm
but
killing everybody, and it's not working. But I'm doing all kinds of stuff that's completely outside of the game developer's thought process of what players would do, and it's not letting me do it. But then once I do something very specific, then things move forward. It seems like with this game, this is what it's like. It gets the illusion of freedom, but then you have to do specific things. Right. You have to follow a certain path. So once you learn something, I got to get these people together to kill them together, then you always need to do that in order to get to the next point have any chance of actually beating the game. Is that correct, or you think that's all?
I don't think I can answer that question because I'm not far enough. I've just actually discovered that there are these two characters that are sleeping together in the game. I haven't even met the other character, the person that this man sleeps with. I haven't even met her yet. So I don't even have enough information in the game to find her. I don't know where she's located. I don't know what time of day she exists. I don't know if she's going to be at the party later on in the night. I don't know exactly. I have to go explore the game, listen, eavesdrop on conversations. I have to dig through somebody's house or look through files or look through text messages. I have to kind of puzzle that together in order to do that properly. But like I said, if once I get an answer, I will tweet at you. But I think right now it's giving me the freedom of choice because I'm able to tackle several different. Right now, I am kind of killing off each target one by one to try to see if I can get their weapons and get their upgrades and then infuse them and then go back and find an optimal path. Honestly, I don't even have a game plan formulated right now. I'm just kind of just going in and just trying to figure out every puzzle, or every target as its own puzzle to get familiar with it. I haven't really gotten, like I said, I really haven't even explored the game that much. And I'm
gonna throw this grenade in the room. That I'm gonna run out and close the door real quick.
Go ahead.
How's the gunplay?
I mean, if you like Dishonored, it's pretty much the exact same. Or if you have played it.
Well, I have played Dishonored. I didn't really care for Dishonored's gunplay, but Dishonored, I had this thought process of Dishonored. It's overall a stealth game, so that's what I expected from it. I didn't really expect it to have great gunplay.
There's a lot of stealth options. I'm finding that there are a lot of stealth options in this game.
Hell yeah, you go walk right by them motherfuckers and they won't see you. You stealth
alternate routes outside of a dumb AI, but alternate routes I can go through. There's this area I can go under a bridge, through the river, and then go sneak up through into this person's club, or you can go the guns blazing way and you could grab yourself a security tag, and then go in through the front door. I also have a weapon that heals me every single time I shoot somebody. So I think that stealth is not the only option in the game. I think that also the abilities that the game gives you, I've picked up a couple now. Also, you have the ability to do however you like. But I think that the gunplay is. I mean, I'm not gonna act like it's I mean, it feels like
it ain't Splitgate.
It feels like
it feels like COD.
Listen, man.
It feels like COD.
It feels like hell no. It feels like
He hurt because you can't be moving that fast. He hurt, bro.
It feels like I've been into I kid you not, bro. I will screenshot if y'all want me to, fam. I played this shit for 6 hours. And it feels like I've been in tutorial for 6 hours. I am not.
Hey, strictly, you can just tell us that you're not good at puzzle games, bro.
Hey, but look, if I'm not good at puzzle games, I will take it. But fam, this is not it. This is a whole different puzzle. This is some nigga. Look, look. I wanted to say something in the beginning, right? Deli was over here saying they do puzzles and you gotta read this and you gotta do that. And you gotta do motherfucker. Am I in school? Like
If
I'm
you-
playing
hey,
a video
hey.
game.
Strictly, if you can't read, that's cool too.
Like damn.
But strictly,
Damn, bro.
games have
Jesus.
puzzles. You know, like games have puzzles all the time. Like Uncharted has puzzles.
Fam, you can't look. Think about it, bro. Think about
But that's
it.
what I'm saying. Like
just-
these puzzles, you have to go out of your way to find. This isn't a puzzle where you just walk in somewhere like Uncharted, and then it just, hey, you did this puzzle, and then you walk through this area. Like a lot.
You
Like I
don't
said,
need basically you don't need advance in the game.
it's a need to know.
complete
It's a
the
need to
puzzle.
know basis.
I'm not letting y'all use puzzles as an excuse for this bullshit here. I'm not letting y'all get away with that shit. I'm not. I'm not. There's God of War puzzles, and then there's this shit. There's the whole.
Okay, hey, you know what?
Like,
It's
hell
perfect.
no.
It's perfectly fine. I would suggest give it a break, come back and revisit it once the patches come out, and you may or may not see it in a different light. But what I'm telling you is that
Yeah,
this
that's
game,
definitely my game plan. I'm
Ellie,
definitely going
this-
to play it when
what
it,
I'm telling, wait, hey, strictly, what I'm
it's
telling,
back.
hey, man, don't shoot me, bro. I'm just a game developer, bro.
No, no.
What I'm telling you is that this game is elegantly designed. It's very well designed. Despite what you told me earlier, this game is very well designed.
I can see. Look, I can see the beauty in the aesthetic and shit, and I get it. But if I'm not going to finish this shit now, it definitely ain't going to happen post patch. Like that's just not going to happen. Look, strictly gaming gonna be long gone off of Deathloop before.
Hey, which
Okay.
is there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But anyways, I rate the game pretty high, like higher than mid. It's not a mid-tier game, but it can feel like a mid-tier game at times with buggy AI. I ran into you can't swim in the game. Maybe that's because he's black. I don't know. But you
Oh, man.
like literally
Come
the game
on.
tells you cannot
That's
swim
not
like
good,
from
man. That's
the
not a good
jump.
look.
Hey,
We-
look,
we
man.
We definitely
I'm
gotta
keeping
fight.
it a buck, yo.
We definitely gotta fight. No question.
I can't
No,
swim, so it's like, what
It's
can
like,
I say, yo?
it's like damn, bro. Like
Yeah,
as
I don't get
found-
his criticism with that.
I found that out because I ran into like this little, I'm not gonna say it's a bug, but a clipping issue. I clipped while I was trying to jump on a rock, and then it shot me straight into the water. The water's like knee deep, and I drowned. And I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And it wasted one of my lives, and I
Now,
got
look,
really upset.
No, that's
And
really accurate though. That's
No,
really
it's. I mean,
Black
it is
people
what
will
it is.
drown in shallow water. It's accurate. So I won't be mad at it.
Yeah, bro.
But I won't be mad at that. Like,
All right, hey,
Oh my
strictly,
God.
hey, you know what? Strictly, just skip the game, bro. It's too real. It's too real.
hey, you know,
But
Okay,
I would say,
so actually, I had a question for you guys. So
Yeah,
a lot of people are calling this game is kind of like a roguelike type of game. So
Yeah.
how do you guys feel about the roguelike elements? Like, are there any progression? Like, do you feel from every time you die or things like that? Or
it's a lot like a Souls game where when you die, you have to go pick up your resources again. There's this resource in the game called Residium, and when you pick up Residium and compound it like souls, when you have all your souls, you're able to infuse your weapons so that when you die or when the game like it turns into nighttime and it goes into a new day and it loops you back all to the beginning again, you're able to keep your weapons and your gear, your trinkets, all your stuff. So like I just recently killed a VIP target, and he dropped a really nice weapon. So I was able to pick up his weapon, explore the area before I left real quick, gathered up enough Residium, and then infused it at the loadout screen. So I got to keep the weapon into the next run. So now that's like my main weapon, and I really like it. That would be the most roguelike thing. It is also like each level feels like a dungeon crawling. Not a dungeon crawling, but it feels like yeah, have you ever played Metal Gear Solid 5 where it's like an open sandbox and you can kind of
Yeah.
just do whatever you want?
Mhm.
There are a lot of people, there are a lot of sections in the game where depending on time of day, depending on what's happening, depending on who's present, there are different patrol paths, there are different levels of enemies. There's different quantity of enemies. Like there was one where I attacked in the daytime and there was a mob. Previously I attacked in the evening time for this guy's club. I went to go break into his club and there was a mob. There wasn't a mob. There were people just like shooting off fireworks in the nighttime, but in the daytime there's a mob. And I revisited this section twice now, And the second time I revisited this section, there was no mob. So it feels like there's a dynamic play here. I'm sure that a lot of stuff is scripted. So like it's like a roll, like every 10 times you enter this area, you may get the mob or may not. But to me, it feels like dynamic enough where that's the roguelike qualities that the game is presenting to you.
Yeah. So yeah, that is pretty interesting. So actually, I did want to go through the critic reviews real quick, and I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
have the whole review mega thread. So we have
Strictly,
AC.
hey, Strictly, you sound like you looking like you hurting right now. You really want to say something, bro. Explode, dude. Get up on your
Bro,
soapbox again.
they gave this game a fucking 10. Like, I
It's
ain't
hot.
hearing it.
It's a certified banger.
Look,
I mean,
look,
maybe
bro.
those reviews were based off of limited gameplay because we know plenty of these companies will give them like a timed access or a
This
timed copy.
Listen,
Well,
this
it takes
game,
about it takes about 15 to 20 hours to beat.
this game is a roguelite, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The definition of rogue is a dishonest and or undisciplined man.
Oh no.
Take that as you will.
Wow, you have to bring that up.
Hey, you're reaching right now, bro.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a hell of a
it does
reach,
have
bro.
100. It's got 100 from player 2, whoever they are. The Guardian. I didn't know the Guardian did video game reviews, but yeah, they
Time Magazine also does game reviews.
So
Like,
yeah,
most of the
so
game
IGN gave it a
reviews, in my
100.
opinion,
Wow.
most of the critic reviews that I see most of the time on that I don't for shit. I do not believe they even play the game for shit. They just feel like, you know what, let me just put out this review just because I'm getting paid from these companies. Fuck it.
Agenda.
Right.
Yeah, there are 15 reviews that rate this game at 100 out of 100 or 10 out of 10.
Right.
Man, listen.
Most
man.
of them I've
So-
heard of or are reputable. So
So yeah,
Like,
I'm
but
not
it's
looking. I'm
just-
not looking at like Metacritic. I have like there's like a Reddit thread of the mega. It's like a mega review thread of all the major outlets. So we have ACG, and he rates this as a wait for sale. So he says Deathloop
Right,
is
because of the
fun,
bugs.
but it has a ton of problems identifying what it is. Hedge. It's like a hedge wizard assassination game, or a slim wallet gun runner assassination game.
it's like a first-person Hitman. That's what it feels like.
And Hitman ain't it. But go ahead.
But then he goes on to say that
I agree. I didn't like Hitman. I didn't really like Hitman that much, but Hitman Absolution was my favorite, and which is oddly enough not everybody's favorite. I like that one a whole lot.
See, I'm very much like not into stealth games, which is probably part of the reason why. Although I can acknowledge Arcane makes good games, the execution of the games that they have made in the past have not really resonated with me. Like Prey, I tried Prey like 3 times. I just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Dishonored, Dishonored 1 and 2 I tried, and I was just like, although I liked the story in Dishonored, I just like the gameplay just couldn't keep me. And so with this one, when I saw the trailers and I'm looking at like these like clips of gameplay, and I'm seeing like, you know, the dudes reloading, capping dudes, reloading, turning, shooting some dude out a window. I'm like, what? This is Arcane? We rolling like that now? They going guns blazing now?
I mean, you could do that. In
So I
Dishonored
thought
as
this
well,
game was
too.
gonna be like kind of like on the lines of Wolfenstein or Doom or.
Right, I was getting. That's how I was kind of feeling like it. Like they may have went over there and talked to Machine Games. It was like, hey, let's have a talk about how to really liven this thing up in case people want to go guns blazing, because that's exactly how I intend on playing this game. Forget stealth. I'm not waiting behind a wall or a curtain for somebody to walk by. No, I'm kicking in the door, waving the 4-4. Right? That's how I'm trying to do every single encounter. So, but if the gunplay is boo boo, you know, then it's like that might not be the best bet.
I would say that it's not the best to kick in the door all the time. I will say that if you kick in the door all the time, you will find the game either one, hard or difficult because there's just a lot of enemies, or two, you would find it infuriating just because there's a lot of things in the level that you have to be mindful of, which is why I say if you're familiar with games like Splinter Cell, Metal Gear, other roguelike games or other games that give you a sandbox that you can kind of play with, like even Rainbow Six Siege, you have to really take a step back for a second and assess all your options. And this is something that you strictly dislikes the movement. It feels like Rainbow Six Siege. Like it feels like you're running. Like obviously you could tell your character's running, but it doesn't feel like you're running.
Oh,
Sometimes.
okay. So like the movement is slow.
Yeah, it's like for me it is. It feels
It's
like
kind of clunky. It's a little clunky. I'm not gonna. It's a little. Yeah, it's a little bloated, a little
I saw they
heavy.
kind of brought that
feels heavy.
teleportability over from Dishonored.
I actually just picked that up, and I died. I unfortunately died once, falling off a cliff because the indicator for my teleport was like obviously I can clear this gap, but when I went to go teleport, I did not clear the gap, and I ran into the rocks, and it slid me off the rocks. And maybe I didn't feel like I double jumped at that moment, and I think looking back on the footage, I didn't double jump at the moment, but it does feel a little clunky at times, especially when you're trying to do the stuff that the trailers are showing off, which I feel like the marketing team really kind of misled us here. The marketing team made it feel like this game was some guns blazing like Wolfenstein game. It is not. It is not that. It is not that.
It's definitely
Yeah.
really, really slow.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
It's
so
a little
for,
bit
so for
slower.
me
It's a little bit slower.
personally, same with Deli here. I am a fan of the action stealth genre, and Dishonored 1 and 2 was definitely really great games from Arcane. Like I've become such a huge fan of them because of the Dishonored franchise. It's such a really good stealth game, and so yeah, so moving on here, let's move on to some more critic reviews. Um, so so we have ARS Technica who did give a negative review. So it says Deathloop may go down as the biggest gaming disappointment of 2021.
Oh man.
So yeah, that was a harsh. So we did have some, some critics being honest, but for the
That
most
sounds
part,
like that sounds like Strictly wrote that review. I'm just kidding. I'm not coming for you today.
I mean, look, that's pretty big considering we got Halo Infinite to deal with this year too. So like, I mean, not saying guarantee Halo Infinite is going to be a
Let's just hope.
disappointment, but it's
just
launching
hope.
with no co-op. That's already a disappointment to me.
Yeah.
So
Hey, but the
that-
multiplayer's free.
But like, look, like Bam said, it
Yeah.
is a game that's a 6.5 out of 7. In my opinion, it's not terrible, but I feel like I do feel like the marketing did hurt this and kind of like they did kind of falsely lead people a little bit in regards to what kind of game it is. And I feel like that could have helped. It probably would have hurt them in sales because people would have not end up getting it. But right now they're just getting backlash again because it's not what it was marketed to be, in my opinion.
Yeah, if it was marketed as a stealth action title where you take your time, you plan your routes, I feel like people would be able to understand that, like, oh, I see. Also, the marketing makes it sound like Juliana, the rival assassin, is always hunting you. She is not always hunting you. She can only invade you a certain amount of times per district or per run. And I've actually only ran into her in the 10 hours that I've played. I've ran into her maybe like about six times. So I get invaded like once every hour and a half in the game of game time right now.
But if
yeah.
you're being invaded by an actual player, that could be more times than that, right? Because I watched last night a little bit of the dude from Kind of Funny Blessing. Blessing was basically trolling Mike Manata from VentureBeat. He just kept invading them and killing them, and then he would leave and then wait for him to respawn, and then he would invade him again and kill him. He was just like, it was like the whole stream was just him trolling them.
Yeah, you do have the option to invade specifically your friends.
Okay, so yeah, that's what he was doing.
That probably is what's happening. You have a random raid a random. which like puts you obviously into a matchmaking, or you have the ability to invade a friend, which opens up your friends list and see who's playing, and then you can directly invade their game no matter what. I don't know if there's a
That might
cap
be the
on
move
that.
for Gaines. For Gaines to
So
enjoy this game, he might need to
I
just
feel
be
like Gaines
engaging
might
people
like
and
if
just.
Gaines wants to pull up
You know,
in the
it's funny, yo.
game.
It's funny. I did that earlier, and I popped this motherfucker because like, because I think one of them is scripted. You know what I'm saying? Where Juliana invades the when you go through the story, like it's scripted.
The
Where,
first one is
yeah,
the
the
first one.
first one. Yeah, somebody invaded me. He could, he teleported onto the rooftop, and I popped the shit out this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I did the same. I did the same thing to somebody else. Like I killed him. I think they can die multiple times though, because it kind of confused me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so that's what happened. Because I killed them like I don't know if it was once or twice. I think it was once though. I killed him, and I'm thinking I'm good, and I just sat there, and then it was like, "You died." I'm like, "Yeah, what the fuck?" Like, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of confused me, but I did that too. I told you. Like,
Yeah,
I was like, PvP.
Colt
All
has
right,
the
yeah,
ability to come back twice before he dies the
yeah.
third
See,
time.
and
And that's
yeah, and
that's
I knew
something
that.
that the
Yeah.
marketing failed to mention as well too. Like I didn't know
I mean,
Yeah, that's true. I didn't know that. I thought it was like kind of like say like Returnal. You die, the loop starts
I mean,
over, kind of
yeah.
deal, right? But
the
instead,
marketing
you
didn't do much. Like if you notice, most of the marketing was just focusing on the loop, focusing on the hunting, and after every single marketing trailer, you still sat there and you were like, "What is this game again?
Yeah, like
Like,
if
what are
they
we supposed to
market it
do?"
as like, hey, it's a puzzle game, you have to explore your area, study the target, figure out what's going on, and then attack your target. It may take multiple loops before you start to understand how to traverse the area properly. If it marketed itself as a puzzle game, like that happened to have guns and like a little bit of traversal mechanics, then I feel like what Strictly said, I think sales might have been less than what they currently are, but I think that it would have been more honest because I think that less people would have been surprised by what kind of game it actually is. Because, like I said, like you guys, I thought it was some Wolfenstein game. I didn't even have this game on my radar. I was gonna skip it. I know it was at like every PlayStation showcase. I was like, this game is gonna be whack. I don't like it. I don't care about it. I don't care about some Dishonored shooter game. I don't care. And then I saw the reviews come out, and all the critics are saying like, "Hey, this is not an action-oriented game. This is a lot more than that." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna have to dive into this then." The
They
marketing failed
lied.
it on all fronts.
They definitely lied.
So that's actually a pretty interesting point with the marketing aspect, and it kind of brings me back to Returnal, how that was also advertised with the trailers. So do you guys think the trailer of this game, did it really showcase, was it really a roguelike type game, or like do you think it had the same effect as like Returnal, where you don't know
I'll tell you what.
what type of game it
I'll
is?
tell you. I'll tell you. When I saw this in the showcase, I just looked past it. I didn't
You
even
look
bother
disgusted.
because I was just
Yeah,
like,
I tuned it out.
like I just like ignored the shit out of it. Like another game. Okay,
Me
fuck
too,
it.
bro. Especially when they showed it at the last showcase. I'm like, bro, why the fuck are y'all showing this game again, bro? Like, I don't care. Like, it feel like I played the game already. So between the
Yeah, you didn't
marketing,
learn
like,
anything new. Yeah.
yeah, like between the too much marketing and between the false marketing, that's really I think what hurt the game. You know what I'm saying? Like if they really would have kind of cleared up the transparency or cleared up what this game actually was, and people didn't go into the game thinking it was one thing and it being the other, then the feedback will be a little bit different. The
Yeah.
game still would be the same, but people would understand what they're playing.
Yeah,
You know?
with
Like
Returnal's trailer, as soon as I saw Returnal's trailer, I knew like, hey, this was a bullet hell game. I didn't buy it. I knew exactly what kind of game it was. I wasn't gonna buy it. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like those kinds of games, so I'm not gonna attempt to have Returnal win me over. I may pick it up down the road to, when it's a little bit cheaper, when I have a little bit more free time, and kind of dive into something a newer experience. But that's probably what it end up being with Deathloop. If they said, "Hey, it's a puzzle action game with some stealth elements," a lot of people are gonna be like, "No, that's not me."
yeah, I honestly just looked at it and I was just like, yeah, point blank. Okay, it's just another hunting game, some multiplayer mode, some guy like again when you said that somebody can invade you and shit like that, and that was that I'm like, I'm not in the mood to play the fuck around in this. I just want to complete the game and I just want to go around with it. Fuck us having somebody invade my fucking game and try to fuck me over.
Yeah, I thought somebody was gonna invade constantly. I have yet to be invaded constantly, so I have had a lot of downtime. So I feel like I'm able to take as much time as humanly possible to tackle my puzzles and explore the area. So I've actually had a lot of fun doing that, because of the lack of invasions. So
So yeah,
Yeah.
so back to the critic disparity topic, with Deathloop, it seems like aside from ACG or ARS Technica, like a lot of the outlets, the major publications seem to have highly rated this game for some odd reason. Like if you look at IGN, you look at GameSpot, you look at Game Informer,
Hey,
like
I
Easy
do not
Allies as
trust
well. Like
anything.
all these publications for some reason they have like such a high
I do not
high review score
trust.
for this game for some reason, and that's like a really strange thing. So
Like,
well,
honestly,
it's not strange. I think the writing is great. I think the world building is great. I think the level design is fantastic. I think the story so far, it's like a thriller. It's like obviously a sci-fi thriller if you're like used to that kind of time loop kind of stuff. I think the story right now is interesting. It was really confusing at first, but then once I realized that like we're kind of just dropped in the middle of things, I was like, it's gonna end up playing out, and I'm gonna start to understand a little bit more. Um, yeah, like I don't know. I understand why it's
like,
rated so highly.
I honestly tell you, like, anything that fuckers IGN kind of, I do not trust those motherfuckers for shit. Right? Anything that comes out of their fucking publications, I'll be like, yeah, I'm very skeptical with this shit straight up from the get go, because those motherfuckers just give you fucking false insights in the game. I don't even know whoever the fuck is playing on their behalf and trying to give this game a review or any games a review. I just feel like they're just doing it just because they want to just get that clicks on their freaking website, just so they can get some kind of a revenue. And also, I feel like they've been getting paid for giving positive reviews. So
Hell
I don't.
yeah, hell yeah, their ass getting paid.
Yeah, straight up, straight
Hell
up.
yeah.
I just don't trust anything that comes out of IGN.
Shit, you already know.
I don't think IGN gets paid for reviews. I do believe they get paid for their previews because they'll get exclusive like access to games in their previews. They'll see content, they'll see footage, be able to play the games before any other outlet or anyone else does. And then even for some of those games, they'll never say anything negative in the preview. And then when you
Like,
get the review, and then they'll be like, they'll tear it
I mean,
down. And it's just like, but where was all that? Like the stuff that you're saying now, you weren't saying any of that when you were doing the preview.
like
Well,
if you
in
look
So
a
at it,
lot
the
of those
thing,
preview moments, there's a buy clause in there that like an embargo, so to speak, that you
yeah,
literally it's like, hey man, this first video, I can't say anything negative about it. On my review,
Yeah,
I can't, but I can't post my review until a week after this
yeah,
date
yeah,
or
yeah.
some shit like that.
It's
yeah,
So it
it's a
does get
kind
very
of a
specific like that.
it's a kind of a tactic. A lot of tech reviews that happen there on YouTube and shit, like, they tell you exactly. There's a guy that I've YouTube. And this guy turns around and says exactly how the review content works. And I feel like most of the companies, even in games, it's a similar kind of a thing where they'll give a product for you to review, but on the embargo, like Windows said, they're not allowed to say anything negative about it. They can only tell the positive things about it. And then if you want to give your actual opinion, you have to wait a week or so when the game is released and let people play it. Till then, they can't say shit about the game. So, to be honest, like that's the main reason why I try to like
All
focus my
companies do
mind
that.
out of the
yeah.
and I don't want to
I,
like pay attention to that.
I've done maybe about half a dozen reviews in my time in content creation. One in particular, I didn't go forward with the review because I didn't like the stipulations I got in the NDA. And so I won't say the name of the game. It was a Ubisoft game, though. I will say that. It was a Ubisoft game.
Shocking.
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds about right. That NDA gonna
Um,
lift a day before the game comes out. That sounds about
right.
right.
Shocking.
And I'm like in it said it told me I cannot talk about anything beyond a certain point in the story. It told me because certain areas were going to get a day one patch to not discuss those areas in the review. And it's like, here's my deal, right? I'm the kind of person that's like, also, it said, do not at a certain point, don't go past a certain chapter. So, for example, the game comes out on the 16th. It's telling me don't even play up to a certain point till like the 14th or 15th. And I'm like, how does that give me enough time to finish the game and then have a review ready by the time embargo is up? I
Yeah.
can't. And it's like, that's the point. So it's like, you either want me to do a review that is on time with everyone else's review. You know how it is when like all the people drop their reviews all at once when embargo is up.
Yeah.
In order for me to get my review out at that time, I can't have completed to finish the game yet.
Mhm.
Or if I want to finish the game, then I'm just going to miss out on all the clicks. And I'm just like, nah, fam, I don't care. I don't care enough about the clicks in order to give someone a review of an incomplete game. You should be finishing your games before you do a review, period. Like, what if the last boss fight is completely bugged? What if the story makes no sense after a certain point? That's
Yeah.
information that people should know when you reviewing the game, but how would you know that
Many
you didn't even
companies do
finish
that.
it? Yeah, and so I just chose not to do the review, and I see that often. I was actually kind of like happy to see some reviewers like ACG just straight up say, when it came to Cyberpunk, I ain't reviewing it. I ain't gonna do it because of how they went about things and how they gave us like you could only get this version of the game. We're not gonna give you any other versions of the game because clearly they don't work.
Fair.
so you
Oh,
can
that's
only get this
Be that
version.
way.
It's
And
just
don't
like,
forget,
Yeah.
like
nah,
when you got
I'm not
companies
doing
like
it.
That's
IGN, a game probably has enough leeway and be like, hey, we'll give you this copy to play and review, but it has to be this individual because we like him. And maybe they know that's the one reviewer in IGN that's gonna give them a better review that likes that type of game. You know what I mean?
I definitely figured it wasn't a 10 though. I mean, like, there's very few games that's like really reach where you should have a bunch of 10s. Like that's what we're talking about. Like again, for me, The Last of Us 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, like Zelda Ocarina of Time. These type of games are 10s. Like that's
Yes,
it just didn't add up to me personally. But
So
that's
yeah,
understandable.
so I definitely agree with what Slomo said about the whole journalist aspect. The fact that some journalists, I think I read about this where like they are really cramped for time. The fact that they have to put in a review in I think like 1 week before the actual game comes out or something like that. Like they have a really tight schedule. And also, I think with it is kind of the same with content creation. Like the first to come out with a review, like I feel like that would get the most clicks, and
I
Yeah, I
think
mean, like,
so it's kind of like that.
the reason being is like a lot of gamers out there, they just want to see. So if you got your review ready, got it uploaded, and then premiere this nonsense, people will click on it just to see, like, oh, this guy's done a review. Let's find out. Let's check it out. And especially if you got a good following, community wise, they'll be like, oh, bet I will definitely check this guy out, see what the game is like. If this guy says this is legit, cool. I'll
I can't hear you, bro. I don't know if
Yeah, I think you
Ooh,
froze.
Did it get
Yeah,
cut
uh-oh.
out?
I think he crashed there.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
okay.
But okay, so to answer Innate's question in chat, like he says, he just thinks that this game isn't matching up to the reviews. If you look at it in it being genre specific, right? I think that the reason why this game is so rated so highly is because it's so tight knit with Arcane's style of game, the stealth action genre in the first person, right? If you look at first person stealth action genre games, we don't really have a lot. Like the last one was like Thief. I would hardly classify Prey as stealth action, but if you look at Thief, that came out like a decade ago.
Mhm.
Terrible game. I mean, how many other first-person stealth action games do we had? So maybe this is it's just so tightly knit done. Like it's just everything about Dishonored that is great. This makes it into more of an action game because more guns. I don't know if there are any other melee weapons in the game, but um like the abilities and everything is very much Dishonored. So it feels like Metal Gear Solid 5's evolution from Metal Gear Solid 4 or whatever from the previous Metal Gear Solid. It's like, hey, it gives you a sandbox, dive in, do whatever you need to do. And if you look at the competitors, there's not a lot, so that may influence your feelings about it. But because there's not a lot of first person stealth action games, Deathloop being the best of the genre is what crowns it a lot of these 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s, right? Whether or not you feel that way is completely up to you, but all I'm saying is if you look at the overall picture of like how strictly said like Metal Gear Solid, Zelda, Ocarina of Time, like Mario 64, if these guys feel like they deserve tens more because the competitors are so vast. There's so many competitors. But with Deathloop, it's like it's really hard to say what Deathloop is competing against, right? Because like I said, Thief hasn't been out in a decade. Hitman is third person. Um
Yeah,
Dishonored
there
is
isn't
first
really another
person.
game like that.
There's really not. So if if you look at it objectively, if it's the best game in like 5 games, then yeah, technically it's the best game in 5 games. Whether or
Hitman
not that's
trash.
worth it to you is completely different, right? Now, Metal Gear Solid to me is a 10 out of 10 with even all of its problems, all of its crappy writing, all of its this and that. There's a lot of charm to the game, but if you look at the stealth action genre as a whole, third person wise, there's like at least 25 games that are in the third person, and if it's the best out of 25 games, I feel like it deserves a high rating. But Deathloop being the best out of 5 games, it might be harder for me to sway your opinion on why this game is good.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we spent a little bit too much time on this topic, but
How
so
about this?
so does anyone have a final say on
I'm gonna let Strictly go.
this?
No, I
before we go on?
actually gotta do daddy duties and get going in a minute. But I appreciate talking to you all regardless. Hey, we all know the PlayStation 5 event. There's no point in me going there. We already know what they showed. It was 8.5. It was 8 for me out of 10. They showed some heat, but the middle of the show was trash. I'm gonna just keep it all the way 1,000. That shit was terrible. Definitely, it definitely felt like they held back a little bit. They didn't show everything, which could be due to the rumored PSX event in December. I mean, but it's kind of bittersweet. Because there's a lot of things that's going on outside of the event that we know about. They just haven't really said anything about. But a lot to look forward to just from the event. I did want to just give my quick opinion on that.
Well, thanks
Cool,
for
yeah,
sharing.
I did all the daddy duty stuff before I got on. That was
Thanks for
Look,
sharing
yeah.
your opinion about Deathloop. I'm always interested to hearing like negative reviews of games because I'm always like, especially games that I seem to kind of enjoy. So far, I'm enjoying the game. Who knows? My opinion may sway by the end of it. But I'm always interested to hear why you dislike the game.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I appreciate you, even though you didn't really follow me. But it's all good.
He hurt, bro. Oh,
Yeah,
slow-mo, slow-mo, you missed it. This dude came in swinging. He was hurt. He was like, bro, why don't you follow me on Twitter, bro? I was like,
he said you
Oh,
the only
man.
one.
he didn't even say hi. He didn't even say hi. He was like, yo, I think it's funny how
Well, I
Deli.
mean, I'm not even surprised whatsoever. Like this is the guy Leptine. Look, he gets his beard oil on, right? So like once he get the beard oil all put in, he get real Brody. He
Real
just be like
reckless.
straight up real reckless.
He a whole different dude.
Hey, listen.
Oh man.
I got my MP5 right here. I will shoot all of y'all motherfuckers. You already know, man. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. You already know, man. We always showing love, man.
For sure.
Hey, I hope we can agree on the next game that we equally play. Maybe Kenna will agree on.
We probably did because I think the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
game
for
we
sure.
talked about, we agreed on.
Yes.
There was I remember the last time we did it, we did agree on a game. I just really forgot what it was.
Yeah, and we also dislike Game Pass together. So
Yeah, that's a fact. So we're
Yeah.
we're 1-1 done.
Man, what up? I like me some Game Pass, man.
No, we're not
Be
doing that
sa-
again.
be saving the brother some money out here, man. I ain't gotta spend it.
We're not doing that again.
Almost trying to bait me, bro, and I ain't got time. I'm out.
Sure.
You out of beard oil, huh?
Yeah, bro, I'm out, bro. I'm out. You feel me? I'm out.
Hey.
Yeah, so
Y'all be
yo,
easy, bro.
appreciate you putting up strictly, and have a good one.
All right, no doubt, bro. Y'all be easy.
No worries.
All right.
Take it easy.
Take care, man.
Yep.
No doubt, you too.
Okay, yeah, so let's move on to Tales of Arise, and I appreciate the Grand Wiz himself, SloMo, showing up for this.
Here we go with the Grand Wiz stuff. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right, yeah. So so I think Bandai Namco really did up the ante with Tales of Arise. It's a very good entry into the Tales franchise, and this time around it is on the Unreal Engine, the Unreal Engine 4. So the graphics are definitely much better than the games that they had before. When you talk about Tales of Berseria and Tales of Vesperia and Zestiria. So the graphics, from a graphics standpoint, this is definitely up there, and I would compare this to kind of the likes of Dragon Quest XI, but I feel like the environments in this game is much more detailed than Dragon Quest XI, and I do really like the art style. I think the art style is really great. And also with the story, like I think the story is really in an epic fashion how it's presented. The opening act is really well done, and it talks about like how the Renin has such a strong rule against the Danin on the world. So I'm gonna pass it to SloMo, and what were your thoughts on this game?
Oh well, oh man, that I'm going first, and I haven't played it yet. So look, I haven't played the full game yet. I did play the demo. I played it on PlayStation 5. The demo really sold me. It was already on my radar. The demo really sold it for me. I haven't got it quite yet, just because I got some games I want to finish first, and then I'll get into that. Because I mean, some of them I'm like, all right, I need to get this out of the way quickly. Like Life is Strange, True Colors. I'm just like, let me finish this real fast. I have that done tomorrow, and then like I'll jump into Tales. But what I played in the demo, I really enjoyed the combat, which is Tales combat is always enjoyable. So that's a given. But I thought the combat in this particular one was even more enjoyable. I like the character models, the visual, the art style, the art direction that they went with was really good. And even though the demo only had like one real quest, it was more like a fetch quest. You try to get into a town, they're like, nah, man, we got some monster out here, straight snatching women, slapping dudes. We need you to go deal with that. We're gonna let you in. I said, bet, went ahead, found the monster, slapped him around a little bit. That's the end of the demo. But I really spent a lot of time just like there was a rest part where you could just rest, refresh yourself, then go around and just like wipe out all the monsters, just keep doing fighting if you want to. And I found that little gameplay loop enjoyable. I thought the character archetypes are good. I like that there's a much of a variety that however you like to play your games, or whatever particular kind of character that may resonate with you, the character with magic, the chick with the shield, or the guy that just straight, goes fights with his fist. However you want to play it, you can play it. I think this game is probably going to be one of those games that like I can understand why some people are saying this is like the best Tales game they played. And I can really understand that. Yeah.
I just want to ask a quick question. Is this the same game that follows in the series of Tales of Vesperia and stuff
Yes.
like that?
No.
Yeah,
So
Tales of Vesperia and Berseria.
So it's similar to Final Fantasy, and Dragon Quest, how like each entry is its own thing, it's its own story.
Oh no,
So it's like
I
similar
got
to
that.
that.
I was just
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a
I just
self-contained
I-
story, but it's a part of the series.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
what we mean. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
you meant
'Cause I
like the
know that.
story aspect.
Is
No,
this
no, no,
part of
no,
the
no.
main story,
Because
or is this the side sequel spin-off stories? Do you guys know?
so
No,
is it
like
tied into the main story, like Tales of Vesperia or
Like
Berseria,
Tales of
stuff like that?
Innocence and Xylia, or whatever.
I'm not 100. I'm not like all the way up on all of them. I've played Tales of Vesperia I'm about to butcher the other one. Begins with a B. Berseria.
Berseria or whatever.
Berseria. I've played them. They are anytime it says Tales of whatever, it's a part of that series. Kind of like how like with Final Fantasies, like Final Fantasy 6, 7, 8, 9. They're all different stories, but it's a part of the series. So this
Okay.
Tales of Rise is a part of
So
the series.
I guess like
It's not
Final
like
Fantasy,
it's not like a side.
it's a numbered game, right? It's a numbered
Yes,
game.
pretty
Okay,
much. It's
okay,
it's
okay.
part of the series. Yeah, yeah.
All right, cool.
Got you.
Yeah,
And
so
they
you
said
know,
it's like
so
30
I do
hours
agree with
past.
you. I do agree
Wow.
with you, Snowmo. You know, the characters are pretty well fleshed out, and at first, I'm about like 8 hours in the game so far, and so
Mhm.
at first I thought Shihon, your main, this is the girl you meet early on. I thought
Mhm.
Shihon was a really bland character, but she actually has some other different unique sides to her that you find out later when you go into the dialogue, dialogues. Between battles you get to like it's like a comic book style how the dialogue system is set up, where you get to speak with your party
Mhm.
members, and like the Shihon has a really interesting, it's like an interesting personality that something you would least expect. So you guys are gonna find out more about her, later when you do experience the game for yourself.
Is
But
the combat more like Dragon Quest, or is it like Star Ocean? Final
It's more
Fantasy VII
Star
Remake?
Ocean.
Okay.
It's very fluid. It's so like you'll get into a battle and whoever you are current, like so let's say you're using one of the characters in the game, you can actually press say like up on the directional pad, down directional whatever, to actually have your other like party members attack particular, like direct them to attack a particular enemy that you are attacking. You can do combos that way, so you can combine your attack with someone else's attack whenever like that meter is ready, or that kind of stuff. So it's like there's a system to it, and it could be it's very fast paced to the point where if someone's used to just like turn-based RPGs, they may get overwhelmed with how quickly things are going, how quickly things can turn for the worse if you're fighting like a little mini boss or a boss, and that boss just like drops like you're so focused on attacking that you didn't realize that boss has dropped one of your party members, and you need to revive them, or you may need to have those party members kind of like giving you more like say like more health regeneration and things like that to kind of help you out. So it's when I was playing it in the demo, it was I found it to be pretty easy to get used to. Like it didn't take me very long and before I felt like it was very intuitive. So
Yeah, the last Star Ocean I played was 5, Integrity and Faithlessness, and that one you could swap
yeah.
between any of your party members at any given time. I didn't know if it was the same way.
I can't remember in the demo if I could swap. I think I can. Yeah, I think you can swap.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to.
Yeah.
Crow, can you swap? Because you're playing the full game, right? You see, you're about
Yeah.
like 8 hours in. You
Yeah,
can swap
so
between characters when you're in combat, right?
so you can't really swap like in the actual combat. Like you would have to go to, well, you have to pause inside of a battle, and then you would have to switch to another character. That's how you switch characters.
Oh, okay.
So
but
it's
you
not like an
can't be-
active like switching like a Final Fantasy VII remake, like how you can switch characters
Right.
like that. It's not like in that fashion. Like you have to like actual pause the game, and that's how you use items too. Like you have to pause the game to use items.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I'm mostly used to like turn based, so that's my jam. That's my bread and butter.
Yeah,
So you
so
give
you know
me
it's definitely a cop if you're you know if you're an anime head, and you know this does have a really fire anime intro. You know, I really like the anime intro of this game, and you know it's really well done. And so I'm just gonna read a snippet of this Game Informer review, and so he did give it.
real Crow, real quick. Which version? Which platform are you playing the game on?
Yeah, I'm playing on PC.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just gonna read this Game Informer review, and they did give it a 93 score. And so an excerpt says, "A Tales of Arise harmoniously balances beloved systems like visual novel inspired skits and upgradable titles with new and improved gameplay tweaks, intricate world building, and subquests."
Mhm.
And he also says, "Tales of Arise is a fantastic reinvention of the Bandai Namco's trend, the Bandai Namco's tried and true formula. It might even be the best installment in the franchise to date." So yeah, you know, it does look like a lot of good critics are praising this game, and you know it's really great to see that. It's really great to see Tails finally go into the Unreal Engine, and as you said, Slow-Mo, the combat is really improved in this game, I feel.
Yeah, yeah. I think this one's probably going to be like a sleeper hit that a lot of people are going to enjoy. A lot of RPG fans are going to enjoy. Probably not so much people who aren't really into RPGs, but you know how it is with particular genres. If you're not into the genre, then you're not really going to really care for it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so it's definitely a must cop, and so Joker, would you be down to get Tales of Arise?
Any JRPG games? Yeah, definitely. I'll try, give it a try. But first, in order for me to play this game, I'll have to play the previous titles, just so I can get the feel of it before I can dive into the new game. Do you know what I mean? So, I'll definitely give it a try. Not anytime soon, but when I do get the time to do so. Right now, I am waiting for a lot of things to happen. Also, for the fact is that because of my work schedule and everything, I can't really get into a game fully. It's just one of those things where I can just hop in, plug and play something, and go back to work the following day. So meanwhile, I got a list really on the games that I need to sit down and play. Um, when I do get the free time, I will indulge myself into it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll definitely give
Okay.
it a try.
Yeah, I did get Tales of Vesperia recently on the Switch. It did when it went on sale. So like uh, like for me, I haven't really played that many in the franchise. I played a bit of Symphonia. I didn't I didn't finish the game. I think I got just about like 15 hours into it. I don't know, for some reason it didn't pull me in to that game. But I'm really liking Vesperia so far. I think that's a really great title too.
How does it run on the Switch? Here's about to be some slander.
Yeah,
Even though it's like
bro.
it's a
I'll
two
honestly,
two
I'll
generation old
honest,
game. I'm pretty sure the Switch can handle at least that, right?
Yeah, it's
like to be
actually really
honest
good.
with
Like
you,
if you search on YouTube, like there's been a lot of good praise of this port. So it's actually a
so
stable 60 FPS.
for me, to be honest with you, Switch is one of those consoles where I just want to play like an arcadey kind of a game, and I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Unite recently, and I'm having fun, and it's the whole cartoon graphics and everything. So if the JRPG kind of delivers on that, I might be just sitting there and carrying around playing on handheld. So yeah, I'll give it a try if it's on Switch.
I don't think
Um,
Tails is. I don't think Arise is on Switch. I'm not certain about it, but I'll
Bro,
double check
you
it.
know what's you know what's crazy? I saw NBA 2K22 on Switch for 84 pound 99 pence. I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. To be able to play that on handheld, I am not spending so much money. Fuck that. I'd rather just wait on to hold on to my PS5 and then get that. So if I look at the Switch, I'm just looking at it as like, oh, it's another mobile console kind of a thing. So I'm just gonna not buy that game on there. Yeah, it's a full game and everything. Try playing Rogue Company. trash.
Yeah, I've
Trash.
tried to
I
play
agree.
Rogue Company. Back when I had a Switch, I tried to play Rogue Company on it. First of all, I had to switch to my Pro controller because the trying to play that with Joy Cons is like
It's just
basically uh, chewing on nails or something. And then
yeah,
it was running so hot.
yeah.
It was I couldn't hold the Switch anymore. My hands were burning. It was just like
Like I feel like for those kind of games, you need to just put it on your dock and connect it to the TV just to play it. Right?
yeah.
I don't think I'll be able to play a handheld and be like, yo, my whole hand is not able to especially with that Joy-Con though. Fuck no, no chance.
So Joy
It's
Cons are
just
the worst things ever
yeah.
created for controls. I can't stand them.
Like the only thing that I can actually play right now on Nintendo Switch, and I enjoy quite well, is Smash Bros. And Unite, Pokemon Unite, because it's very simple. Press A to attack, press R to do your ability, and just move with my joystick. That's it, nothing else. You know what I mean? So it's very simple. I'll keep it to simplism rather than going all crazy and thing. If I want to play a complicated game with all the controls, I got my PC to do so, so I'll happily play that.
I like the Joy Cons personally.
Yeah, no, I don't really like Joy-Con. It's just I don't know something about it. Like I even got
What
Rub
do
it
you
on the
like about the
Switch.
Joy Cons? I'm
I
curious
mean,
about that.
I have small hands, so you ever watch that Burger King commercial with the small hands? That's me.
Oh yeah.
So to me, the Joy Cons fit perfectly in my hand. The same thing I liked about the PlayStation 3 controller. It's just nice. It cradles. I'm able to cradle the controller softly. Also, I like the ability to detach them and I play the Switch when I'm in bed. Like I'll just prop it up on my bed and I'll turn over to my side and I'll just I'm able to play with my hands down by my side. I don't have to hold them. I don't have to like strain myself.
Oh, hold on, you really telling me you lay there and you go,
Yeah, I literally, dude, dead ass. Like this is how I play the Switch. Like,
Wait, actually, my
that's the next level stuff.
so nice. It's nice. I don't know. I like the Switch controllers just because they're small. Personally,
I feel that. I feel that. And again, like I said, when I'm playing, the only thing that I play on there constantly is Pokemon Unite because it's just something that I enjoy playing.
okay. Yeah, so so back to um sorry, yeah. So back to Tales of Arise. I do think this is one of the top JRPGs at the moment. It's definitely worth your time, and it's definitely a cop, especially if you're an anime head. This is definitely a great anime type of RPG. And
Like the last JRPG game I played was MMO called Onigiri. I don't know if you guys ever played it or
I
it
think I
was
know
on
what you're
PS4.
talking about.
And to be honest with you, that was great for me because I like having to play a JRPG MMO and finding a JRPG MMO that still supports the servers and all these the amount of people in the server. That was the only game I found, to be honest, and it was optimized well for the controller too. And that was on PS4. I had that shit downloaded on PS4, and I originally played it on the PC. So anything when it comes to these kind of things, I'm pretty sure a standalone game just created JRPG style. Yeah, I think it's much more um, progressive in many ways, really. So I'm looking forward to give the Tales series a try, and especially for this new one. Looks kind of interesting. I'll definitely give it a try.
yeah, yeah. All right, sounds good. And so let's move on to the PlayStation event, which happened recently. And so let's start with the intro movie.
Sick,
And and
sick.
shout out to Window. He put out a pretty funny reaction to this. And so we have
Oh,
two.
you talking about the drip?
Yeah, for the drip.
Okay, true.
So yeah, so we got two guys over here playing chess. We got a brown guy in a leather suit, and we also have we have a dude in a gold with a golden crown. He got the bling on the wings, and he has a fancy white suit as well. So it looks like it's like a white versus black. And so we see the brown guy make the first move, and so apparently like the queen lady is trapped in this building, and she takes a ride from the helicopter and lands in the building, and then you see the brown dude make a move. Then all of a sudden the SWAT team storms the building, and they capture the queen.
Right. All I gotta say, that analogy for the whole PlayStation event was great. Like the guy playing on the chessboard, wearing a bling on to say like, yeah, he's flexing with that whole drip, especially that whole rings with the freaking
Bro.
triangle, square, X circle, bro. I went to my jewelers and I asked him like, how much will it cost me if I had to get the exact same thing done? And you know what this motherfucker turned around and said? He would say, I can do it all for £2,000. I'm like, bet.
This man's
That's
about
my
to do
next
it.
investment.
No, I'll tell
That's
you
my
what though,
next
like
investment.
I was kind of shocked that PlayStation went so heavy into the chess theme. Because they had their pawns fighting it out, the armored cars came out, they had the Rook logo on the side. The two queens were kind of going wild, going everywhere and doing whatever they wanted as a queen does. So
Yeah.
I found it interesting that they went so heavy onto the chess theme, but it was kind of cool because you could see a lot of like homage basically going on constantly in the background. They threw some love to Tetris. They threw some love to Uncharted.
really?
You can see in the background. If you went there scene by scene and actually looked at it, the background of one of the skyscrapers had a huge Uncharted poster. At the very, very end, when they're like, "Hey, victory!" You see a statue of Aloy. That's her name, Aloy,
Ooh.
right? That's how you pronounce it. They see a
Aloy.
statue of Aloy in the Aloy.
Yeah, I think it's Aloy. Yeah,
My bad. Y'all get what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I think,
Y'all know what I'm
yeah.
talking about. Dreads girl. You see her with
Dreads
like in the back with a bow, and she's a statue and stuff. Like I
Oh, it's
almost
a lot of
thought it was
Easter
gonna
eggs.
be
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about the
like
Easter
I
eggs.
almost
the
thought it
whole
was gonna be like a chess sort of trailer that they were teasing. I'm like, damn, this is about to be like the new chess 3D they're opening up with. Like, the fuck is happening? But
like to be
I don't know. It was decent for a starter.
to be
So,
honest with you, the whole marketing strategy on this intro was great because the whole thing was like it was very strategic. We say, let's just say from the PlayStation side of things, Sony made it very strategic, like to say, you know what, these pawns are some games that you can enjoy because these are already there, and then you got the king and the queen representing like the OG games, like that they're franchises kind of thing to say, and it was very metaphoric, and I love the whole entire aspect of it. Do you know what I mean? And the way they showcased it from the beginning to say like, "Yo, we are in this fucking bitch." Like, throw some respect at my name. Do you know what I mean? So that's what they did.
I found it very fascinating that they had a trailer about playing chess, and then the
It was so
very
weird.
next thing we see is KOTOR remake
KOTOR, right?
poked from
Yeah.
Xbox, Xbox original
oh,
Xbox exclusive.
that's a smart
Now
analogy right there.
timed exclusive for the PlayStation 5. Absolutely hilarious. But yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
so
be real. I think it was more confusing than anything, unless you sat there and rewind it and scene by scene. Just actually sitting there and for the start of the showcase, I was just like, I'm gonna be real with you. Like I think I was
Like,
actually talking to Joker. I'm like, I'm not 100%
yeah,
sure
yeah,
what I'm looking at right now.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
We were
confused.
all confused at the beginning as to exactly what they were trying to do. But then afterwards, when I rewatched it again, while I was in my bed, and I was there like, "Yo, this is a very strategic way to go about it." Yeah, not a lot of people understood it straightforward, but as soon as I started to see all these games on the chessboard, and then afterwards the guy moving the pawn, moving the queen, the rook, and everything like that, is there like, yo, they're straight up throwing salt at some Xbox gamers over there with the whole KOTOR. Like as soon as I saw the KOTOR, I was like, "Oh, this is what these motherfuckers were doing." Okay, I got it. But
It
damn,
was a big flex for the beginning. I don't know if we're
Yeah,
into
yeah.
that subject yet, but
I'm not gonna lie. I
So,
just
so
thought it
the
was
thing
a
that
big
that I,
bummer.
that I didn't get personally was like, yeah, you see, the guy in the white suit, he did move the queen, but to win the game, like this man, like pulled like two pawn pieces, and then he gets a checkmate. Like, yo, how did he do that? Like that
Hey,
shit
man.
just
Strategic,
didn't add
bro.
up.
Big
I
brain
don't
move.
get.
Big brain move.
Hey man,
Big
every
brain
chess
move.
player knows that you can still win a game with pawns, 100%. A king can't beat a pawn. I'm just saying, not if he's protected.
Yeah. It's straight up.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean that's
yeah.
that's kind of sus. I don't know how you win a game with the pawns. Like you can get
Yeah,
a
bro, you're just
checkmate.
not on that level yet, bro. You're not that guy. Trust me.
But yeah, man. Like the whole thing. Like, have you noticed there was a car scene in the thing, the intro, right, with the bishop, right, and I just feel like that bishop represents GT, Gran Turismo, and to say like, yo, this is the game which plays as a bishop, and then so forth and on and on. And the king being, I think, is Insomniac Games, just trying to flex out there. So, but yeah, it was definitely an interesting intro, that's for sure. And I loved every single bit of it.
Yeah. All right. So moving on here. So yeah, PlayStation did unveil the Knights of the Old Republic remake. And if you guys don't know, Windu is big on the Star Wars franchise. And so, what were your thoughts on, them revealing Knights of the Old Republic?
Bro, I blew a gasket. I was straight screaming when I saw it. But I'll be real, bro. I think it was just more of a shock to see Sony control that IP like that, even if it's just a timed exclusive. You feel me? Like Sony's never really been like too crazy about Star Wars, right? But even though we have seen a lot of Sony and Marvel synergies, right? So that might have been the reason because they're also opening up doors. Because maybe Marvel's like, hey man, we need that Tom Holland Spider Man. I'm gonna be real with you. We need him. Work a deal with us. And then maybe Sony's like, all right, we'll make you a deal. We'll let you use Tom Holland Spider Man, but you got to let us do all the games from now on. Give us exclusive right to all the Lucas Art games and etc. Give us, all the Marvel game features and everything. So they got some sort of synergy, some secret handshake they've been doing back there in order to get it going. I think, but I was just fucking shocked that Sony was even going to enter the realm
Yo,
because why? What's up?
y'all gonna hate me for this. I've never played this game.
You never played it?
Yeah,
I don't even know what
I'm,
it is.
I'm not
It's a
gonna
very
hate you.
good game.
A lot of people
No, there's
haven't
no hate
haven't
for it.
played it. Yeah.
if you didn't have the like original Xbox,
I've never had
old
the
s-
original Xbox. I've never had
yeah,
it.
so
I've
that it
only
was an
had
exclusive for that.
Oh, I had a
Basically,
PlayStation 2, and then I had a 360, and then I had a PlayStation 3.
yeah. So you basically just ended up skipping it because it was an exclusive for
Ah.
that. Later got ported to PC. But if you play it
And it's
now
on
on
mobile now.
PC, yeah. But if you play it now, I don't know if you're like me. I can't play a 20-year-old game and enjoy it like
Yeah,
I
it looks
did
hella
back then.
dated.
You
Yeah,
know what I
the
mean?
graphics.
Yeah, the
Like,
Oh, I can.
gameplay's dated. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't mind playing a dated game.
but and I can only imagine an RPG that looks like any of the last even remotely recent Star Wars games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
I
be kind
think
of crazy.
visually it's gonna be dope, but not just that. Like again, this is a big move for PlayStation because even though it might only be a timed exclusive, that shit's crazy, especially with a big flex like that. Hey, like, hey, Xbox used to have this, we have it now.
If
Mhm.
even if it looks like Final Fantasy VII Remake, I feel like people would be happy. I mean, I think this remake will be
There's a
great
lot of
for me because I might care about Star Wars again, which I haven't cared about
like
Star Wars in like a decade. So
I feel with that struggle, bro.
no, but I agree. The simple fact is that Star Wars has a huge following, right? And especially for KOTOR,
Yeah,
the
worldwide.
game, it had a massive fan base for that game specifically, and they still want, like, some people, I think not long
To this
ago
day, it's
we
highly
talked.
rated as like the best Star Wars game ever
Yeah,
made.
exactly. And I
Because it
believe
is.
me and
I mean,
I believe me and
you
Windu were
know, but I'm
talking
just
about
saying,
it.
wow.
So is it Knights of the Old Republic and the Old Republic two separate entities?
Yes,
Yes,
the
yes.
Old
Okay.
Republic is an MMO that BioWare
Ah,
still is supporting right now, and it's kind
okay.
of like it takes place after Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. BioWare did 1, Obsidian actually did 2, and it came out like I think like 15 months after, or maybe yeah, about around 15 months after the first one came out.
Okay.
Knights of the Old Republic is it's probably was the first Western RPG that I played, and it probably really got me into Western RPGs, made me a fan of old school BioWare. The lead writer for KOTOR is Drew Karpyshyn, who went on to be the lead writer for the Mass Effect trilogy.
I see.
He also has written books, fictional novels, within the Star Wars universe for the main character in KOTOR, Darth Revan or Jedi Revan or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
He's been on so many different sides of the spectrum, but
He's
Revan
he's
is
known as one of the strongest
amazing.
Sith in
Yeah,
history. Yeah.
he's an amazing character, and or she, whatever you want to call it. It's canon that he's a he, but whatever, right? So that game, and I think, and maybe this is just my opinion, but I feel like Star Wars is a tad bit overrated when it comes to, especially when it comes to storytelling, from the movies and somewhat some of the comics and other books. This was a well-told story that had a great plot twist in the middle of it, in addition to just awesome characters that weren't one-dimensional cardboard cutouts of certain character archetypes that you typically see in media.
Mhm.
It and the sequel
Good character
that
development
Obsidian
and
did.
everything. Yep.
Yes, amazing character development. The sequel just really continued it on, even actually making. I think the sequel probably has held up a little bit better over time, just because they actually incorporated different Jedi fighting styles to kind of enter into certain combat scenarios. For example, you could have a Jedi fighting style where it's focused around deflecting laser fire. And so if you go into a area where there's a lot of people shooting at you, you could just on the fly switch to that, and then you could actually see your Jedi kind of like moving differently, or switch to a fighting style that was strictly uh focused on one-on-one combat with another Jedi. Like that stuff was cool. But as far as like KOTOR itself, you're talking like Bastila, amazing character, Cartho Nassi, Jolie, the great Jedi. Um it's amazing. Darth Malak, the villain, like that entire game just how could I forget this? HK-47, the hunter killer, this robot is freaking amazing. Like the way he talks about, like he's loyal to you, but you can tell like he really, he's got like a sordid past. He talks about humans, he calls them meat bags.
Mhm.
His suggestions are always violent, you know. And you'll be like in a certain scenario, and then HK will be like, well, master, we could just murder all of them and then take their things. It's just like, hey, could you
That sounds like my kind
chill?
of guy.
Yeah, he's
Sounds like my
great.
kind
He's
of dude.
great. He's absolutely awesome. Like I can't wait to see all that in a more
Mhm.
modern, like
Yeah.
visually looking game. And they do have to update the combat, because I can tell right now, just off the break, like if you're trying to appeal to a larger audience, they're not going to be cool with old school BioWare. Queue up attacks. Everybody
Yeah,
pause the
I'm
game.
seeing
Queue
like
up
everybody
attacks,
like
kind of stuff.
I'm seeing
I
gameplay
can imagine a
here on the
Fallen
screen.
Order type of gameplay.
That would be great. That actually would be amazing if they went that route. And then you have a party. So imagine Fallen Order with
With his
three other people
squad.
with you. Yeah, that would be
Oh, that's gonna
pretty
be
damn
dope.
awesome.
I'm seeing that
Yeah.
there's some flack on the internet from that they
Yeah.
have this writer that people
Mm-hmm.
aren't really liking, but I'm looking at her website and she is no stranger to sci-fi genre. So she's written for Star Wars. Um, she's written for like Captain Marvel, Transformers. She's also writing for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. She did writing for Ratchet and Clank, Anthem, and the newest Call of Duty.
That's not
So
the best look for the on the
it's
resume with
not.
Anthem.
It's not, but I mean,
Well,
I think that
I think
people are.
Star Wars people are just scarred as far as directors and writers and stuff.
Mhm.
Because think of how long ago Knights of the Old Republic was, the original, right? Known as
Mhm.
one of the best stories, if not the best story of all time, when it comes down to just plot everything, like he was going over, like SloMo was going over. But now think of the fact that over the years you've seen this whole motif of new story, new director. You like that old one? We don't care. In the movies, in the cartoons, you'd be like, "You like season 3? Well, season 4 has a new director." Ha ha!
Yeah.
This is a constant thing in the Star Wars world, and it definitely didn't get better once Disney took over. It actually got worse
Right.
once Disney took over. So even having a writer that could be S class, right? Like people look at this writer and they're like, "Yo, that person is gonna kill it." Everybody's still gonna be like, "I don't know, bro. It's hella sus." Have you seen the stories from Star Wars in the last 10 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
But
So
here's the weird thing is though that people never think about like, well, yes, Disney has kind of screwed up the movies, but then you got The Mandalorian on Disney Plus that everyone loves. So it's like there are opportunities for
true.
it to be good. Now, I think a lot of people, I'll speak to the side that doesn't like to see that this writer is attached to this. They see the stuff that she's tweeted out, specifically in
Okay.
regards to Star Wars, and they get the impression that she doesn't like Star Wars like that, and which is never a good look as far as fans are concerned when someone's writing for something and they don't have the same passion for it that they do. But then also they feel like she may try to write her politics into the story, which would then be
Like
pretty
push an
much
agenda.
pushing an agenda and changing the story itself. Now, I don't know her. I do know that she said some stuff that made me kind of like something in regards to Red Dead that I thought was like really like weird, but I don't know what her influence is on this writing team. Is she writing specific side stories? Is she rewriting the entire like premise and motivations of like mainstay characters? Like who knows? What I did hear from someone that is that they're basically only going to stay true to the main story of Kotar, with just maybe slight changes that Disney kind of feels like makes it non-canon to Star Wars lore. If you understand what I mean, and then also
Yeah,
expanding on some things that BioWare didn't get a chance to put into the original game, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm fine with that. But I'm
that's a weird
hoping
one.
that's all that is. Like if they come in and they're saying like now like Revan and Malik had like a secret sordid relationship with one another back on the Jedi Academy, I'm like, bruh, okay, look.
Yes,
Y'all went
but
out of left field now. Like that's not what the story is. Stop it.
I could see them taking creative freedom based off of the fact that it might be, newer graphics, newer animations, newer camera angles and such. So
Hmm.
they might try to spicing up things here and there. Uh, I'll be real with you. I know for a fact Disney likes pushing their agenda, or like, hey, you know what, guys? Like, we have to show that we're all for equality, even though we've shown it on the last 10 projects. So we got to throw some sort of equality here in this one. Like we're gonna change the gender of this character, or we're gonna change or the sexual preference of this other character and stuff. So with that in mind, I'm worried as to how much Disney is going to have influence in there, but I don't know, because as far as everything, I just know that PlayStation wise, I don't think they're gonna give a fuck. It's like, hey man, you gonna make us money? All right, we'll publish it for
Right.
it.
Right.
You know?
I do recall reading an interview from someone. This actually it was about the fact that this is back when EA still had exclusive rights to Star Wars, so maybe like 3 or 4 years ago,
Mhm.
and people were concerned about Respawn developing Jedi Fallen Order and how that story would be, and there were some job listings out there for Lucasfilm games, and people were speculating that Disney was, which turned out to be true, detaching themselves from EA as far as EA exclusively making Star Wars games. But it's just that the actual evidence didn't really support what was actually turned out to be true. But whatever, right? But I remember someone from who had sources with EA talking about how the positions that people were thinking were evidence that EA was being moved on from were positions that had been out there all this time, even when it was exclusive, because those positions were narrative positions and they were positions about cutscenes and stuff. So even when EA had exclusive rights to Star Wars, all the cutscenes were done by Lucasfilm Games. So the story was still basically controlled by Disney and Lucasfilm, but the games were done by Respawn and Dice. You know, and I don't see them changing that process just because they now are working with more publishers. That they're still going to control where the story goes and not just um, allow the developer to have the creative freedom to just go wherever with this license.
I mean, I'll be real.
Yeah.
They did a great job with Fallen Order.
Yeah, they did.
Like
Excellent
if
job.
it was handled that way, you know,
Yeah.
like whether it was staying true to the lore, how a Jedi grows, creating their own lightsaber as they progress, like, even little things like that. Like I didn't think they did a bad job at all. And
I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah,
that's what I'm
Jedi
saying,
Fallen
like,
Order is definitely one of my favorite games. Like it's like a kind of like a Dark Souls element, but I feel like it has its own unique flavor when it comes to like the puzzle solving and like the combat is pretty unique as well. Like I really like that game.
it gave me
So
Force Unleashed vibes, if you guys remember that game.
Hey, Force Unleashed. I remember watching all the studying all the gameplay developments, all the physics stuff that they released during that time, and I don't know. That's all I remember of it. I didn't actually play the games at all. I just remember all the cool technical stuff for game design that came out with it.
It was pretty awesome. I like playing as
Yeah.
Vader in the beginning and just like completely destroying this army, just going through with your force powers and like seeing bodies flying left and right. It was freaking amazing. I do have to go though because I'm actually 30 minutes late for Brat right now.
Oh, you're good, Omen.
which is fine. Enrique would be fine. They probably didn't even know us. I wasn't there for a while, this is a good conversation, man. I enjoy just discussing games with people, instead of just
always.
the
Sure, homie.
typical what's the hot topic of the day? Who got exclusive rights to this? What happened here? Who console war bullshit. Forget that. Yeah, like I like talking games. So. I appreciate you guys, man. Hope you guys have a great night.
Hey, SloMo, have
Sure,
a
homie.
great
Much
night.
love.
We still have yet to talk about some of the things about working together and hanging out. So
Yes. So,
we need to do that.
We were talking about DPS. Yeah, I'll hit you. I'll hit you with the DM, man.
Yeah, sure thing.
Cool. All right. Take care, guys.
Take it easy, man.
Peace.
yeah, easy slow-mo. Yeah, appreciate you. And so yeah, let's move on. And Windu, did you have any final words on Knights of the Old Republic?
I mean, I would just say it's too soon to tell. I just think that the biggest thing and the most crucial thing to look at is the fact that Sony got that. And what does that mean for the future of the Star Wars franchise? What does that mean for future possibilities of Battlefront? Because we all know that Battlefront, when they released it for free, had a huge uptake in players, breaking records. What's that going to mean for future other story-based games? Are they going to do other simulator-based games? Are they going to do other MMOs? So
Do you think that for a person who hasn't played KOTOR yet, do you think that in the oncoming months or in the oncoming year, if when they release more information, footage, whatever it may be, do you think that it would be a good starting point to dive into this one and then go back and play KOTOR 2?
oof. I don't know. I'd say it really depends how it turns out, because is it going to be a full remake that is just 100% a copy, maybe something or two twisted?
Like a
but you
faithful
won't.
one.
Yeah, like you're not going to miss anything if you play this upgraded one. Then at that point, it's like, you know what, bro? Enjoy the story with better graphics. Why not? You're going to be better.
Yeah.
But is it going to be one of those things that it's like, it's not 100%? But at the same time, if you've never played it, I almost want to say don't play the old ones, because you really might end up being like one of those people at the movies that's just like, I read the book. It's not the same. That didn't happen in the last story. You know, like it's kind of ruined. Like it kind of ruined this game for me because I played the previous version.
I see.
You feel me? So
I
I'm
think
also
I'm
very
gonna-
worried there.
I think I'm going to play the remake and then get your opinions on it, and then I'll go back and play the original and see how it stacks up. Much like how I played the original Final Fantasy VII and then playing the remake, I didn't like the remake at all. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah,
So I just
like
skipped.
when I-
I just stopped.
That's what I'm
playing
saying.
it.
It's hard. I know it's not. It's a remake, not a sequel, but it's hard for something that comes after to truly surpass what came before. And I think it's mainly because it's like a performance. The first time you hear a performance, it might blow your socks off.
Yeah.
But the second time you see it, it's just like, well, I've seen this before. Or even if I've seen it before, I've seen it perform better.
Or like
Even though I know
you
it's the
start to
same
become
song.
much more critical of it because you're like, you know what's
100%.
coming up, you know what's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
happen. You're able to
Like-
spend more time digesting it and less like, oh my god, just like being in the moment.
Yeah, like I'm afraid that you might play the new one, and even though the story might not be as great, when you play the old one, it's like, I'm gonna be real with you. These mechanics are so janky. I don't even know if I can finish playing this.
Honestly, I don't mind going back and playing like, period. I want to call it period piece games, but I don't mind going back and playing like old games, because it's a product of its time. I think that I'm
Mhm.
able to adapt properly. I've never been one of those guys that go, oh man, this game is 20 years old. I can't play it anymore. Like to me, graphics I never cared, mechanics never cared. Um, it's just part of the game. Like Shadow of the Colossus, the jump button is on triangle. It makes no sense
yeah,
at all.
yeah.
The original game, but I went back and played it and I really enjoyed it. And then the remake came out and I still play on classic controller scheme because I'm just so used to it. So yeah, I think that I'm gonna end up diving into the remake and then seeing if that really wows me, and then if I like can't get enough KOTOR, then I think I'm gonna go back and play the original and see how well how faithful the remake is. Because
How good of a job they did. I think that's going to be the bigger thing
I
to
think
look
my
at,
fear
especially if you're a
is
nerd.
I think my fear is that, obviously, this is speaking from your perspective, from a fan who has played the original KOTOR, has very fond memories of it going into the remake. I think that my fear as a new person would be that
That you
it-
miss out.
it's just no, it's not. It's just different enough that it's not faithful. Does that make sense? Like it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's small stuff
Like
that just
it would be
doesn't make any
okay if they.
sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like it would be okay if they change stuff in a good way, right? Like we've seen.
Out of love and respect, for the franchise
Well,
or for the source material.
I'll be honest. I'd probably use the recent God of War
Mhm.
as a good example. That we were all expecting traditional God of War, and I know it's not a remake; it's a continuation, a little bit different. But we
Yeah.
were all expecting God of War. But then we got this this father that's trying to be stern, trying to not show, trying to help him how to be like a human, help him be a god. You know what I'm saying? Like a totally different side. So I wouldn't be mad if they give us the old game with differentials, because I can imagine little things like side quests probably aren't going to be 100% the same. I
Yeah.
can imagine in a remake, the main storyline might be pretty dead on, but then all the other shit, like, you know what, we're going to add another 10 hours of side quests, and this
Yeah.
time it's with our flair and stuff. So I'm okay if they change enough to where it's immersive, it's fun, people enjoy it, because I'm all about adapting and progressing, right? Like, it doesn't have to be one for one copy. But grabbing an IP like Knights of the Old Republic, that's big shoes to fill. That's the part that worries me.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential to screw up, is what you're
It's
saying.
like the first Transformers and then Transformers with Mark Wahlberg. You feel me?
Yeah, I do feel
Like
you.
the expectations that are there when you heard the word Transformers, it was like, yo, it's gonna have this, it's gonna have that, etc. And then when you go into it, it's like, well, it was Transformers, but was it good? You feel me? Did they do it justice?
Yeah. And that's something that I do like your comparison to God of War, like the reboot God of War. Like, obviously there's a lot of love and respect for the franchise, where it's been, where it's going, where it hasn't gone yet. And I think that that's something that these guys at Sony Santa Monica, Cory Barlog and team, are able to dive into, and was like, okay, this is where we can comfortably take Kratos and expand and flesh things out. And I'm hoping that, as a person who hasn't played KOTOR yet, when we do get our chance to get our hands on it, and being able to sit down with you, and maybe you're able to look through the lens of a person who has never played it before, and maybe garner new excitement for some things that I'm talking about that I've experienced for the first time, and that maybe you're able to look back and be like, maybe they did actually change a lot of things out of love and respect for the franchise, for the better.
Yeah.
Obviously I don't know the original story, so I don't know if the original story holds up, almost 2 decades later. Maybe there's some material in there that aren't really great, or maybe there's some, usage of
Or that
words,
don't age the same, yeah.
that don't age properly, that maybe they're just trying to modernize it, and take away that kind of potential bad publicity for a big corporation like Disney and Lucasfilms. But as a person who hasn't experienced it, my only concern is that I hope that it doesn't give me a bad experience, that I go
Push
out
you
and
away
say,
from the entire brand.
yeah, like, go, like, oh man, I really went out of my way to go try KOTOR, and then when somebody says, oh man, Knights of the Old Republic was awesome, I go, dude, it was trash. And then obviously,
You're
we get
afraid
in,
you're gonna pull a Strictly with
yeah, and then we get into this conversation where it's like, bro, you didn't play the original. It's like, bro, I'd never owned an Xbox. I'm not gonna play it on PC. It came out in 2004. Like, it's 2022. Like, what do you want me to do, dude? Like, I don't want to get into that, all the semantics behind, like, oh man, just
I
the
feel
first
that.
one was so good, this and that. So
no,
Nah,
yeah,
I
and
really-
one
yeah,
thing.
I definitely feel that, and sorry, it is
you're
a bit
good.
late. It is a bit late here, so I didn't want to go to the next topic. But yeah, like, as far as the PlayStation showcase, the opening 10 minutes, it was pretty decent. I would admit, like, I am keen for Parasite Eve. I think that's a great, a great game. It's kind of like a old style game, but with the new, with the new graphics.
Yeah,
But
so character
it
action game.
is pretty, interesting. And Forspoken as well, I really dig the traversal and the open world, and also the combat of that looks really, like, really dope.
Forspoken just screams to me Infamous. That's what. That's
Yeah,
what I
the way the animations are, it feels
yeah.
like, to me, I'm like, this is actually an isekai game. Like, dead ass,
Yeah.
this is like, they went and did it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just hope that the gameplay actually lives up to the way that it looks on screen. Because I think it's still using the Luminous engine, and if that is anything to be said by it, I don't think this game is gonna run very well.
I heard a lot of people assuming that it was on Unreal Engine 5. just because
Yeah, that's
of
what I thought
how
as
like
well. Yeah.
smooth all the animations look, the ray tracing on the water, and like the backgrounds and stuff like that. Like arguably, probably the most seen comment that I saw was the assumption that this game was on Unreal Engine 5 because it can't look that good
Mhm.
on another engine.
Mm.
That's what I
Yeah.
heard a lot of people say.
Yeah, like when I saw the traversal, I really thought it was Unreal Engine 5, and
I mean, Project
like
Athia was unveiled, like was teased. I think during E3 or sometime last year. I think with the
Which Unreal Engine 5
correct,
wasn't
correct.
even released, if that was
I
it?
don't even.
I don't know because
No,
what was the
it
name that
wasn't.
it went for before? It was
It
Project
was
Eve, was it?
yeah,
Or
Project Athia.
Yeah.
That was it was the teaser trailer a year ago. Teased by Squeenix. Like I said, if it has to do with Squeenix, then it is definitely using the Luminous engine. So I don't actually think it's going to be Unreal Engine 5 at all. But I mean, hope I'm wrong. I
Mhm.
personally I dislike the Luminous engine. I think it's buggy and slow. I think it's it tries to render too much in any given moment in time, which is why we have a lot of issues for Final Fantasy 15.
yeah, so like for me, like outside of Parasite Eve and Forspoken, like I thought the show was pretty mid. Like especially when
Negative.
they had to show some of these third party games that I feel like were unwarranted in this event. Like, did they really have to show Alan Wake remastered? Did they have to show another GTA 5 remaster announcement? Like GTA 5 has been on
No, no,
like
no, no.
so
Is it,
many
that,
platforms.
Hey, GTA
the
5
GT is a
remaster
money maker.
bro, that literally is so brilliant. Like I ain't
Hmm.
even gonna lie, man. Those
Huh?
guys at Rockstar are
Yeah,
genius.
yeah, yeah.
There's
Yeah,
literally
they
no
did.
reason.
Like
There's no reason to make
Yeah,
GTA
I guess
6 right
it's
now.
easy money though,
I
but
agree. I agree. No, no, no. I agree with Deli on many perspective regarding this. There is no reason to create the GTA 6 at this point because this game has been, been going around and the development, adding new stuff, new content, and everything like that. So, wow, what's the point in making a GTA 6 at this point? Because this game right now has got so many expansions, right, so far, and people are still playing it. Doesn't matter if it's a
That's a
previous
good point.
generation.
It's
Yeah,
too successful to shut it down.
there are 100,000 subsequent players every month, right? So there's at
Mhm.
least 100,000 people playing every single month,
Which is
consistently.
crazy.
On top of that, it is cross-platform, so it's PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and on the PlayStation 3, right?
Mhm.
And think about it like this, right? If Rockstar spends $500 million a game to
Mhm.
develop GTA 6 on top of whatever they spent on GTA 4 or 5, which was 500. I think it was like 280 or 300 million dollars, right? So if they spend anywhere between 800 million to like 900 million, so like $1 billion on this game, right? They have to develop it strictly for the PlayStation 4 and the Series X, right? Which would mean there's only 10 million customers that can potentially get for the PS5, and then on top of that, only 6.5 million on the Xbox. So why would you bring a player base of
You can't
potentially
make it too good. Yeah.
170 million consoles and PC to less than 20 million consoles?
Yeah.
Like spending
Yeah.
$1 billion to do that makes no sense. And
Like
then on
it's a
top of
waste
that,
of
the game,
resources for them.
yeah, they can just slowly make money off GTA 5 and then just develop GTA 6 for like literally the next decade and then go, okay, everybody's moved on to PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, time to drop GTA 6. Like now
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about old hardware. You don't have to worry about those dev kits. You don't have to worry about making assets and basically downgrading your vision to fit a platform that has the most of your
Which
player base on.
actually, just to kind of throw in there, that little fact, Gran Turismo surprised me. because Gran Turismo is known for
Mhm.
doing that.
Yeah.
Why would we make the game at the beginning of a generation? We rather make it at the end of a generation, max out the potential, and then take advantage of the entire player base. And then we port it for the future game too, even though it's last gen technology, so we can expand the player base and etc. I was absolutely shocked that they even announced a Gran Turismo 7 so early into the PS5
Yeah,
saga.
honestly, I just got an update for Gran Turismo Sport that was 10 gigs.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. I'm
just got an update for it.
either they're teasing now and they're not going to release for like another 5 years, which is about right, about 5 years after a console comes
No,
out.
but they
That's
said
when
that
Gran
it's
Turismo
coming
comes
out in spring. It's coming
Yeah,
out
yeah,
in
Bro.
springtime. Like it's real. This is real.
And the thing is, like, you gotta understand, like, when GTA 5 dropped, that was on the PS3, right?
Yeah, it's March 4th, 2022,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
It's
Exactly.
6 months away.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Yeah.
it ran that well, to be honest, on the 360. Sorry, what was it? On Xbox One. Or was it
You're talking about
360?
GTA 5, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm surprised it ran that well on the 360. Honestly, like the fact that they were able to use that old hardware and make it playable at 30 frames per second. Like that was really surprising.
I mean, you can
first-
optimize with textures and stuff like
Yeah.
that, right?
But it's just
Yeah,
a
you
lot
can-
of it's a lot of money spent into R&D for what? For a portion of your player base, you know what I mean? Like
Like,
that's what I say.
eventually, if I feel like eventually what will happen is when they get enough player base who's actually constantly playing this on a PlayStation 5 or constantly playing this on a new console, for example, right? Only then they will probably drop GTA 6, like Deli said, and until then there is no point in actually sending this game out just to say like, hey man, we actually got this on PlayStation 5, we got GTA 6 now, I want you all to. It's like they're not going to make that much money, bro, at the end of the day.
No.
Like, to be honest with you, they're not going to make so much money in return after spending so much money just to develop the game, put all their resources, technology, everything, and the teams that they
It's a good
spend
point.
like
If you
money
already
on.
got a golden goose, why would you look for
Yeah.
another bird?
Exactly, and it's just like, all these people out there who are saying like, "Oh, bro, GTA 5 really, and this is a new gen." It's like, yeah, but you don't seem to understand the point behind it, like, completely. You just like, these are fanatics they're talking about. Like, fanatics will always want something new, regardless of when and what it is. It's like, yo, I got a PlayStation 5. Fuck the rest of the world, right?
I mean, I just had a conversation with somebody about it. It's like, bro, I want GTA 6. I was like, you do realize that like you and the vocal minority want GTA 6. And he was like, no way, bro. Like 90% of the people want GTA 6. And I was like, bro, everybody's still playing GTA 5. Why would they play GTA 6?
And it doesn't even make sense to release GTA 5 now when people are actually literally in the transition period of moving from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5 or Xbox One or whatever it is to the new Xbox, right?
Yeah.
So, and the only people that will actually benefit from anything like that is the PC players. And how many people are there on PC to actually play GTA right as of now? Right, so you got to take that into consideration too. So it's like these fanatics over there will be saying, they're like, yo, I'm looking forward to the GTA 6. All right, cool, bet. You can wait for it for a while. I don't see them releasing it anytime soon.
Don't matter,
The
bro.
most probably time period that they will actually release a GTA 6 is in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I was
Right.
gonna say 2025. We might see a teaser.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And all these people who are sitting there and be like, "Yo, we were waiting for GTA 6." Yeah, you're just one of the smallest freaking percentage over there who are actually waiting for it,
Yeah,
right? And
because if
I
people
don't see
wanted GTA 6, people would stop playing GTA 5.
exactly.
People speak with their money. You know.
And not only that, the fact is that, like, look at all the expansions that they have released, right? What was it? The Money Heist, the whole
Yeah.
casino thing, Outlook, and everything like that. People up to this
A lot of
date,
good
you
ones.
can pull up. If you can pull up Twitch right now and type in GTA 5, and you can see how many people are currently playing it and who are actually enjoying the game still, even as to now, right? And people will never get bored of it. Why? Because there's some wacky shit on there. They'll always find trying to figure out something or the other. And to be honestly, financially, if I was an investor, I'll be like, hey man, no, I'm
200. So
sorry.
298,000 viewers. So 300,000 viewers.
Yeah,
right now.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And it's like, to be honestly, if I, like I said, if I was an investor and I'll be like, listen, I'm gonna put some money towards you to in order to develop GTA 6, you better make sure you return this money to me. The Rockstar is actually gonna turn around and say, bro, you have to wait for that kind of a return at least in the next 5, 6 years, 7 years or so, because right now I won't be able to give you that return back immediately. Right? So it's
Okay.
one of those things that you have
Yeah,
to take that into consideration.
yeah, I don't want to drag in too much into this. I do have another topic to get into. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
do your thing, man.
Go, go do it.
All right. So, for me personally, this showcase was super mid. Outside of the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes, the last 10 minutes was straight heat. The fact that they showed, GT Motorsport 7, that looked amazing. And also, we had the surprise Wolverine announcement, as well as the Spider-Man 2 reveal. So, Insomniac is definitely, has a huge, what do you call it? Like, Insomniac is definitely carrying, PlayStation with a huge backpack right now. So, it's crazy to see how much games they're pushing out from for PlayStation
I mean,
at a pretty quick pace.
like, to be honest with you, Insomniac has done a very good job on just carrying Spider-Man alone. They did a very great job about it. So of course, when you got companies like Marvel and Disney, is like, yo, I actually believe I do actually have some kind of a faith in them, because you know what, they've done a great job with Spider-Man. Why not give them another project and say like, yo, let's give you Wolverine. Let's see what you can produce with this, and what kind of a game you can push out for the public. And if it becomes successful, like Windu said, they have a potential later on to actually create games for Marvel later down the line, and actually create a solid fan base with this kind of thing. So, you know, I think that they're going in the right direction, and I think they should carry on doing pushing it in the right direction, and I think they should have this kind of a freedom of choices on developing a game and implementing their own thing. Because to be honest, when I saw that reveal for Wolverine, I was blown out. And then I saw the trailer, like they did a double whammy, especially revealing Wolverine. Then they dropped Spider Man 2 following that.
Yeah.
And then in Spider Man 2, to see Venom, I'm like, yo,
That was big.
that that was fucking huge. And I was just screaming the whole entire time while me and Windu were reacting to this live, bro. I was there like, yo, I got goosebumps. I need to
Bro.
get hold of a PlayStation 5. And motherfucker is still.
That was the saddest part of the
Yo,
entire event. The saddest part about the entire event is listening to this man constantly. He's like, I don't even have a PlayStation 5.
You'll have one in a
Feels
year
bad,
and a
man.
half.
Yeah, when I heard that reaction, that's what I
This isn't
immediately
bad, bro.
said. Like, yo, that sucks that it's hard to find a PlayStation 5 right now. With the scalpers and the chip shortage. And actually, that there's been a report that says that the chip shortage will last until the end of 2023. So, or I think
Like, here's the
2022.
thing.
So it's
Like,
a huge deal.
from what I got told is like, in here in the UK, um but we are gonna get a PlayStation back on stock in the shops, but we're not gonna get anything until the end of the month. But these PlayStations were pushed out with less heatsink, right? Because they wanted to just
Yeah,
generally mass produce.
the copper shortage.
Yeah, saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I'll still go and get one, but I don't know how that's going to affect me in many ways. I'll have to figure it out myself. But I'll still pay a retail price for it, and I'll buy it. So when it arrives in stores, I'm the first motherfucker to get it. Right? Out of anyone out there, I put my name on literally listings, and I kept myself like registered on all these sites to let me know as soon as PlayStation 5 gets dropped in store, and for me to go and pick it up. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. I know like a lot of people, I saw a lot of bunches of tweets on Twitter saying that, yo, you're not going to get this game until 2023. Why the fuck are you going so hyped up about it? This, that, and everything. I'm like, listen here, motherfucker. if I can get a hold of a PlayStation 5 now, I don't have to struggle later down the line, especially in 2023, where I'm waiting in line again, right? Just so I can play the goddamn game. Like,
Hey,
fuck
tell,
that.
hey,
That's
hey,
fine.
tell us how it feels to not have a PlayStation 5, dude. Can't
It
relate.
sucks, bro.
I
It
bet,
is
dude.
fucking. I fucking hate you, but I sucks, bro. It
Hey
sucks.
man, you over here struggling about the PlayStation 5. I'm over here like, fuck, each one of these games is gonna be $80. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, I bought Deathloop for $49.99 at Walmart.
Huh?
Bro,
Yo, how
It
did you get
wasn't
that
even
discount?
$7.
What?
There was no discount. I just walked in and Walmart was selling it for freaking
Dude,
$49.95.
Really?
Walmart slaps on some sales. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bruh.
It
Like
was
you walk into
day
Walmart,
one.
like, hey, pre-order edition with the extra DLC for base price. Be like, all right, bro,
Bet.
whatever.
It's because
Say
Walmart
less.
doesn't care. They don't care.
that's
Once
true.
they own, like they buy the game for $40, so they can,
That's true.
for
Like
$50 they made $10 profit.
I agree. Like we have a supermarket over here called Asda, right, which is belongs to Walmart.
Bazoon type.
They can't. They can't. They can't literally have the name Walmart in our country, so they have to go by another name. And literally, this supermarket does not care. I can go into that shop and I can buy something at base price, and when you go to a different store, they're selling it for like £20 more than the original game cost. And I'm
Yeah, I
like,
saw a
okay,
box of Destiny 2 games for $1 per physical copy at Walmart, and I just
yeah,
laughed. Like they do not care, dude.
yeah, they don't literally don't give a shit. And I'm like, yo, if I can get my PlayStation 5 from that shop, bet
I buy
I'll
all
buy
my
it.
games from Walmart. I don't buy them anywhere
Yeah,
else.
nah.
They give me all the
Yes.
day one DLC. They give me all the pre-order bonuses. It's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Joker, good luck on the PS5 hunt. You might have to, you might have to bust out that camping chair and, hope to
Nah, man,
camp
camping
in.
chair.
just get it.
Fuck
Hey,
that,
bro, just
bro,
get it from
bro.
GameStop. There was a stock
I'm
like 2 days ago.
like I'm way ahead of the game. Like I got a couple of homies who are working in Asda, Tesco, Sainsbury's, and all of that kind of shit. I'm like, yo, let me know when you drop a PlayStation 5 in your store and keep that shit to the side. I'm not lying to you. I'll buy it straight up,
Really?
and you will get a
It's
commission
actually
because he's a salesman. Because he's a salesman, right? So he gets a commission because I bought it from him. They're like,
yeah,
bet.
but it's not that easy, bro. Like people want PlayStation so bad. Like I literally camped out 25 hours outside of a GameStop just because they had two, and I ended up being third in line, bro. Salty as shit. And I didn't even know they only had two. I literally went to
Oh my
Walmart
god.
shipping deliveries at 7 a.m. Every single delivery for like every single Walmart around me for like a month or two straight, just for people to be like, oh, no, we don't have any. I'm like, I know you're a fucking liar. I got the fucking manifest right here. Y'all got 5 coming in, bro. Let me talk to the manager. And then nothing, bro. Like they literally, there's so much politics around it. Everybody wants one. Employees sometimes can get first dibs or not. It's just, and the ones that do, they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy one. I thought you bought one last month, but I'm allowed to buy one, right? And then they buy it, and then they scalp it. It's just,
It's a mess.
it's a
Also,
mess.
Windu,
It's a
why are
mess.
your trophies private, dude? Are you scared?
Hey, why you worried about
I'm
my
just wondering. I'm
PlayStation
just hey,
business,
worrying
man?
about you, man. I'm worrying about you right now. We're
All right,
close
all right.
friends.
So yeah, so so for this PlayStation showcase, I would rate this honestly like a 6.5 out of 10. I'm not sure why people are having high ratings for the show. I feel like maybe it's with the pacing or something like that. But
I'll
honestly, with
I
the
think it's a
tell you
substance
mix.
that
why
they
they got.
have, I don't
I'll
think
tell
this
you
is
why the
a 10 out of 10 show.
I'll tell you why it was a great show, and I'll give it 8. I won't give it a 10 out of 10. I'll give it 8 out of 10. The reason being is the marketing strategy behind this whole showcase was great. The quality of the showcase was high. Yeah, there are some games that I really didn't pay much attention to or anything like that, but they delivered on the surprise, the whole entire thing, and that's the reason why I give it 8 out of 10. I won't give it 10 out of 10.
See,
Yes.
here's the thing. Like, I actually haven't been a PlayStation fanboy for a while, ever since I came to PC, right?
Mhm.
And I would arguably be that guy that says 10 out of 10, and I'll explain why. Because when you think of a show, and again, you can think of a concert, even in this case, when you think of a show, you think, were you able to keep the audience engaged the whole way through? As a gaming company, did they show both third party support and first party? Because, for example, some of those things that they showed weren't uniquely 100% first party things. They were timed exclusive. Arguably, half of the show or more was timed exclusives. But what they're showing is that, hey, this is a reason why you're going to want to be with us and then throughout the next, phase of these consoles, right? They're not sitting here and be like, hey, this is what's great about PlayStation 100%. Like, hey, guys, we got this license. We got that license. We're gonna bring you the God of War. You remember that game that used to be on Xbox? Yeah, we got that. Alan Wake. Yeah, we got that one on PlayStation 2. A lot of what they were doing was just flexing that they have first access, I guess you could call it, to a lot of these
Mhm.
properties.
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
keep that in mind, quite frankly, they fucking stole the show if you think of it like that. Like, maybe people didn't get enough first party, games. Maybe people wanted more and etc. Like, which I get it. Nobody's ever going to be happy. But when you consider that they sat there and they're like, "Hey, this is how we're the better console right now. Wait to see what we got down the road." I think they executed it perfectly.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so time to move on to our last topic, and so actually, if you guys didn't know, Fresh Prince of Bel Air is actually getting a reboot, and I have a tweet here that says that shows the cast. Let me see if I can bring it up here. But yeah, like I think we all know that
The confirmed cast.
the Fresh Prince of Bel Air is the timeless classic. And like even if you put it on today, like the jokes still hit, and it's a really great sitcom in my
I like
opinion.
I liked Martin better, but all right.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so we got the cast right here, and honestly, like this is just it feels like a slap in the face. To be honest, I'm not sure why, or I think Will Smith approved of this show of happening.
Because I'm pretty positive
Uh,
he saw that little whatever it was, that trailer that they
Yeah.
released, and
Well,
it was
I saw his reaction, like of
Yeah, I
the
saw his
the new
reaction.
Fresh Prince, and he loved it. Like, you got to think about it. That's his life story being retold. I don't think he's worried. Are they going to do a bad job with it? I think he's just going to make sure that they do a good job with it.
yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know if
yeah.
you have seen that, Crow, but it seemed like it was going to be
More
something that
gritty.
was more, yeah, grittier, more grounded. Not so much like a
Imagine Power
sitcom.
meets Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
a lot more, drama. And I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah,
that's something that people want right now.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, we all know Fresh Prince to be like more comedic style, and it suited the generation back then. And I grew up watching Fresh Prince, and I loved it. And I'm interested to see in exactly how the cast, the whole new show is going to take off in a different direction. I would have preferred a much more serious turn to it, and I think this new show is going to be in that kind of a direction. To be honest with you, so. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I don't know much about the actors within the cast list that I'm seeing right now. I don't know who Jabari Banks is. I don't know who Adrian Holmes is,
I
and
think
everything like that.
these guys are from the original video that they shot.
I honestly
Yeah,
can't
and
remember. Can't tell.
like,
I
to be
think
honest with you, I don't know. I don't know any background about these casts that they have over here, and I'm looking forward to see exactly how this is going to go off in a direction that is going to, I don't know, connect with me in a way. But I'm just going to see exactly how it plays out. If I like it, I like it. I'll carry on watching it and I'll support it. But if I don't like it, I'm just going to pass on to it. That's it.
Okay, but
Well,
here's the thing, right? Like, if you look at the original cast of Fresh Prince, like, each and every character was iconic. If you look at, Carlton, you look at Hilary Banks, and
yeah.
also Jazz as well. Like, all of these characters are unique in their own way, and I feel like this is, to announce a new Fresh Prince of Bel Air remake. I feel like this is a slap in the face, to be honest. And
I
like
mean, you
I,
you
Now you
have
know
to.
how OG KOTOR fans feel.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel, I feel like I said, have you seen the Bel Air trailer that they like fan made shot a little while back?
oh
I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
I
if,
How about
actually
that?
have seen that. That was pretty
yeah,
heat though. Yeah, I'm not gonna
that's
lie
what I'm
about
that's
that.
what I'm saying. It seems to me that it's the same people, like as in like
Mhm.
they look. I'm comparing the pictures; they look exactly the same. So I'm assuming that what this
Something
new
that got
series is
greenlit or
going to,
something.
yeah, what I'm assuming is that this series is going to be exactly what how they shot that trailer. So this isn't going to be like, ah, it's Fresh Prince for a newer generation because like obviously Fresh Prince is like just watch the old
Fresh
one. That's
Prince.
like that's
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah,
like remaking Everybody Hates Chris. It's like why do that
yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah.
just already have it? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Especially with all of its critical acclaim. So I would
You know what
say
would be
that
crazy?
hmm,
What if instead of a remake, because the storyline hasn't been 100% confirmed, you get me?
yeah,
What if
I
it's
don't.
what if instead of a remake, it's a continuation? Like this is Will's kid that now grew up in Bel Air, and he doesn't know what it's like. You feel me?
I mean,
I feel that.
I have no idea. It could possibly be this situation where you have like the only source material I have is this trailer, right?
Mhm.
So if it's anything indication of this trailer, it's going to be very it's going to be very dramatized. It's going to be very like grounded, real world. It's going to be a tale for a modern time, right?
Yep.
Less sitcom and more like something more like Atlanta, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
But we'll see when the trailer drops for the first time if it's going to
Mhm.
be faithful to what these guys envisioned, or if it's going to if this was truly just a greenlit project, or if it's going to be something like, hey, we're gonna take over now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm
Okay,
looking forward
so
to
so
see
you
what
guys are
it's gonna bring.
for this? Like, you have no complaints at
Yeah,
all?
I
Yeah,
have
I
no
don't care, man.
complaints. I like for me. Why would I need to complain about it? Like I already got the
I'm all cool
Fresh
for
Prince. I can
I
sit.
literally love remakes. Like I love
Yeah,
them.
I want to see
Yeah, like
what kind of thing that's gonna bring in the future. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
and if
looking
it's
forward
trash,
to
then
it.
I'm gonna tell them, hey, it's trash.
Yeah, straight
the
up.
best example I can think of is the Full House remake. How they were just like, "Hey, this is like the continuation of Full House or whatever." I saw it and I was like, "The old one was better," and that's it.
Mm.
I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, how could they ruin a franchise that
I
was
mean,
Yeah,
good?"
it's completely
what I can
Whatever.
see
optional.
is
You
it's
don't
gonna
have to
Yeah,
watch it.
whatever.
like I can just see that it's gonna connect with a lot of newer generation kids out there, and they're gonna enjoy watching this. So um, for me, I'll have to because I watched Fresh Prince growing up in the old ones, and watching this, I'll be very critical about it. I'll be very critical about it, and I'll just sit there and I'll be comparing us to the original one to the new one. But I have to take it into consideration as to this is a new one. This is a remake, so I have to give it its own props as to say what's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm not the one against remakes, to be honest.
I
Like,
mean, I think you'd have to come into this with a fresh slate because,
yeah.
like I said, it's a different style of show.
Hmm.
It's no longer a sitcom. Well, judging from the source material, it's no longer a sitcom. It's going to be a drama. It's going to much akin to like The Walking Dead.
Like,
Stuff that's
I don't
popular
know
right
if you
now.
guys, I don't know if you guys watch Power. I will thoroughly enjoy Power 2, and I'm now watching Power Book 3, Raising Canaan. So you know, I'm thoroughly enjoying the whole series as its own, and maybe later down the line when I'm about 60, 70, they're gonna make a remake of Power at that time, and I'll be saying there and I will be saying the same thing. Like, I'm not up for it. I'm not up for remakes and shit. It's good. Let's see what actually brings up.
Mhm.
At at this time, who's gonna give a shit about the way I think? people are gonna enjoy watching what they like to watch, and if I don't like it, I'm not gonna watch it. Point
Yeah,
blank.
because you got to think that much like KOTOR, there's a host of people that want to see something that one don't like it in the original format, or two don't understand it or haven't seen it in the original format, right? Think about it like this, right? Bel Air comes out in, let's say, next year, 2 years from now, right? And it sweeps high school. Everybody's watching it in high school.
Yeah.
Like just exactly like the original Fresh Prince. Everybody is watching it in high school, and it's a whole new style for the newer generation. And then maybe it'll spark up love and interest again, and then it bring back the original. And
Mhm.
they may like it, and they may dislike it.
Wow.
I think
It could be a
you brought up Star
I
Wars
can't
as
believe
a
you
great
guys are
example.
so forward against this. Forward for this.
I think you're just
thought-
I think you're just too stuck in nostalgia. I think you have to look
Yeah.
at it with an open mind and take the rose tinted glasses off. Like if this was a 1-for-1 remake of the sitcom, like
Yeah.
recast everybody and just literally do the same stuff over and over again, I'd be like, why?
Hmm.
You know, why?
There's
They've
no
already
point in
filmed it. Yeah, that's like redoing George Lopez. It's like, why? George Lopez isn't even that old. You still watch it. Like I watch reruns of Martin. Why would I watch? Why would I watch some younger kid play Martin when I have Martin Lawrence playing Martin?
Playing Martin. Yeah.
Exactly how I like everything. Same thing with Everybody Hates Chris. But this new one is supposed to put a new twist and a turn on it, and it's shot in a different format. So you may like at Krow, you may actually like it. You may
might
like it
actually
a whole lot.
enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean,
If he watches an episode.
yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, like you said, Deli, with the fan made trailer, I thought that was pretty fire. So, I think I gotta go with the open mind for this show.
That's what I'm saying. If you think it's fire, and like I said, if it's greenlit project that follows the same exact style, then you may be all for it. You may be like, let's try something new. But as far as I know, I don't think it's going to be a 1-for-1 remake. I don't think it's going to be, hey, sitcom. It's going to be the new, Fresh Prince. It's just for, today's kids. Like, I don't think it's going to be like that at all.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, it is gonna be getting a bit late here. Did you guys have any, final thoughts on the Fresh Prince reboot?
No, but all I'm
No.
saying is Dying Light 2 is never coming out.
Oh man, yeah, I'm super hyped for Dying Light. Hopefully,
What is this, the
Techland
fourth delay
delivers
now?
on that.
I like to never.
I don't know, bro. Speaking of delays, Battlefield being delayed
Yeah,
until
only a couple of weeks.
yeah, but here's the difference. Before they came out a couple of weeks before Call of Duty. Now they're delayed a week behind Call of Duty. That
Which
makes a difference in the gaming world.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, it may be split fan bases. I mean, not everybody
Like,
buying Call of Duty is going to
honestly,
be buying
I'll-
Battlefield.
I mean, usually
I don't-
they're split already, but
Yeah.
Like, to be honest with you, I given up on the whole Call of Duty franchise. It's something different for me to check it out. So
Okay.
we'll see.
Yeah. So it's definitely a great episode. I appreciate Strictly and Somo for coming through, and yeah, let's also get into our outros, and let's start with Agent Deli.
Hi, my name is Agent Deli. I'm an ex-Ubisoft dev, currently working for the U.S. government. You can find me on Twitter or on Twitch. Yeah, thank you again for having me back on the show. I appreciate the panel. I love seeing you guys again. Joker, Windu, Krow, of course, and then
Always.
yeah, it's always fun to talk about topics. The hot trending gossip, and then at the same time, it's always nice to be able to lend my expertise to the show, to the panel itself, and whether or not I agree or disagree with you guys, it's nice to be able to tackle things from various viewpoints. So I'm
Mhm.
grateful to have to be continually on the show.
Yes.
for sure.
All right, yeah, for sure. You're definitely a great co-host, and as always, it's always a great, great to hear your thoughts on the topics. And so let's go with my guy Joker Gamer V3.
Yeah, Krow, appreciate you having me back on the show, man. I feel like now I'm part of the panel, because I'm constantly back on this. But yeah,
He
if
said,
y'all don't
"Put
know
my
who I
name on
am,
there."
yeah. So if you all don't know who I am, I'm Gamer Beefy. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter. I stream every now and then, but I try to keep it on a regular basis now. So hopefully you can catch me sometime streaming. But yeah, man, it's great to have my input on the show, give my opinions, thought processes, and stuff like that. Find that information from Deli, Windu, and yourself, and other guest members that keep appearing on the show, and see their input on it, and kind of understand the whole entire gaming world, really. So yeah, appreciate it, Krow. Thank you for having me on.
All right, definitely. And let's go with WinduTheMace.
Appreciate you having me on, bruh. And like these gents have said, I always enjoy coming up in here arguing or just randomly listening to Joker rant. That's always cool too. Uh, but no, I appreciate the invite again, man. And I'm just a content creator. Anybody can find me anywhere by the name Windu the Mace. I'm a mobile guy, strategic guy, and car guy. That pretty much sums me up. And Jelly, I mean, I'm sorry,
Jelly.
Deli over there is hiding from the steering wheel. That's all I know.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa,
Whoa.
All
Look,
right,
I'm going,
onward.
look, I'm going skydiving next Tuesday, but when I come back,
Ah,
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Okay. Yeah, thank you guys for pulling through, and appreciate the chat for appreciate those the guys for tuning in live, and it was definitely some interesting conversations. And yeah, I appreciate you guys who watch the show later, and if you do make it all the way to the end, I definitely respect that. And yeah, I hope everyone has a good one, and y'all be easy. And this is your boy, the Sly Crow, signing off, and catch you guys in the next one. Easy.